Hello, friends. Welcome to Symbaroum. This is a TTRPG system created by Järnringen. It's a Swedish question mark.
You
Swedish.
should probably look that up one of these days.
It is Swedish. I looked it up the last time. Stella was like, "It's
We should probably look this up one of these days.
They're Swedish."
Okay, Swedish! Exclamation point!
Swedish.
Question mark.
Question mark? This is a sort of dark fantasy, kind of gothic, spooky, nightmares in the woods, don't go in the woods, it's an awful idea sort of setting. It's a very unique setting, and we are joined here with my very good friends and our dungeon master, who's also a very good friend. I don't know why I differentiated that, but our dungeon master is Obdurant. Please, take it away.
Alright, we return to find that Mayra has died.
Oh.
There was a message on her body that said, "From a friend."
Yeah. From a not very good friend, apparently. No, I'm sorry. Do you guys recall much about how we left the last session?
We got yelled at by an old man, and then got officially put on the job, and then went and traveled and fought some cold ghosts.
Okay.
Also, we found a campsite of not entirely determined origin.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the woods and there's some kind of building.
All right, that's good. That's good.
Ruins.
Yeah, we had made our way to our objective.
I remember there were weird things, like, somewhere.
So, as we return to the session, Pekome, Mayra, and Dane have just reached roughly what they think they might be after, because after all, you don't have much more than a rough idea of where Aldous, the adventurer, may have gone, and she's the one you're looking after. And at the very end of last session, you had stumbled across the signs of a campfire by the log down here, which in turn is by the ruins, and you could see a booted foot on the ground behind the ruins, and you briefly saw a flicker, the sound of movement within the ruins itself.
Could you describe what the ruins look like? Like,
Absolutely.
any roof or anything like that?
The description isn't going to be super detailed right now, just because you guys are still a little bit away from it. But from what you can see, there is no roof. In fact, there's very little visible above ground whatsoever. You can see a sort of rectangular structure. It looks like it might be the spire of a watchtower or something similar. It's probably only 7 or 8 feet across, and there's a crumbling wall facing you that rises maybe 6 or 7 feet in the air, just a little taller than you are, but it ends in disrepair. It's clearly something that has been abandoned for a long time, and from the looks of it may be somewhat sunken. You know, it looks like the structure is set lower than the ground reaches right now. You can see that there's a sort of some form of access on the what we'll call the western wall here, a bit of a doorway-ish shape, or perhaps just a break in the wall. And from that point, as you're studying it, a fox darts out. And it has a little blood on its muzzle, but otherwise it looks completely normal. It's a fox that's only maybe a foot or two long, with a big poofy tail, and it stops in the middle of the campsite and sort of nuzzles at the edge of that fire, which is burned down. And then, yeah.
What does the fox say?
Oh my god.
Ring ding 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 ding.
So the fox looks up and sees you, and it runs away really quickly. It just darts off kind of to the southwest from this orientation of the map, and quickly vanishes from sight.
A way to be intimidating.
Who is so cute. I wanted to adopt it so that Bone Crusher would have a friend.
Bone Crusher would have scared it off.
Meira carefully slinks forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anyone else go forward, or is it just Meira?
Peko is gonna wait for the moment.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
You're not very stealthy with your
Yeah.
big clunky clunk.
Yeah. All right. So Meira steals forward, and how close do you intend to get?
I want to stick to the trees, try to have some natural cover, and I want to get a closer look at the tower. So pretty much as close as I have to get in order to see what might have been that shadow, that movement that I saw. And Maida is probably thinking that it's weird that the fox didn't seem alarmed until it saw her versus like the shadow. It must not have been able to detect the shadow, and the fox is a pretty alert creature. So she thinks something's weird right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Meira does creep forward, and if you would not mind rolling discreet for me with let's see, a disadvantage of 1.
And that's the good kind.
That is the good kind, yeah. Which is why it took me a second to say. I was having trouble remembering.
Nice roll.
All right. Well, if you'd like to roll again to confirm whether you get a crit.
Disadvantage 1.
Okay, you don't, but you do a very good job. Meira is at home in the woods, even if the woods are somewhat hostile, and it's not quite this region of Davokar that she's familiar with. A lot of bushcraft is the same, right? So she creeps forward, and to Peko and to Dane, they can't even hear her as she steals toward the ruins, and certainly nothing else can, or at least you hope. You can creep quite close, and as you get nearer to this log and the little campfire or camp setting beyond, you do pick out a couple other details. The fire isn't burning anymore, but there is charred wood there and a little protective circle of stones to keep it in. And then there's a pack, an explorer's pack, just nestled up against the log with its top open. And you can even tell, because you've gotten a little closer, that it may have been there for just a little while now, because there are parts of the bag, of the pack, that have been like gnawed through by some kind of animal. And clearly the wildlife has been able to get in and sort of take whatever's edible and get out.
How does the campfire look? Does it look fresh?
It does not. It looks,
Like it might have been cold for a while.
Yeah, it is a little hard to tell, but it looks like it's cold. It's not warm. At the same time, it doesn't look like it's been scattered. It doesn't look like really there's been enough time for like the char to blow away or anything like that. So
this is very unusual.
It is. It does seem a little unusual.
Meira thinks that whoever this pack belonged to, that they had to probably leave abruptly. And it's a pretty big deal to leave your equipment behind in a place like a forest of Davokar. So Meira is going to slink back, and when she gets back to the party, she's going to say, "There is a pack. It has been abandoned, and there is a campfire. It is cold for the most part. I am concerned that something awful happened here.
Did you check the pack, see who it may belong to?
I saw something in the ruins. Perhaps it's something that ate the owner of the pack. And I'm not going to go check it out.
Pickham is just gonna blink a little at that and then look over to Dane.
That sounds like Picame.
Well, then you two better get ready to help.
Dane starts stringing his bow up.
As long as I don't have to go first. And Meira will also string her bow.
One day I'm gonna have to teach you two how to fight in close quarters.
There is enough of you in melee for the three of us.
You only say that because you're not the one in melee.
It is much easier to run away if you're not in the melee.
Oh, is it now? Is it easier to run away?
Okay. Does Peiko start heading for the camp?
Well, she's gonna tower over Meira for a moment
Mm-hmm.
and then go head over to the camp.
Meira will slink after you.
Dane will come last and kind of briefly chit-chat up his quiver.
Yeah. Meira will be like, back here. Hide behind this bush.
It's great that Dane finally discovered he had magic.
Yeah.
And Peiko, as you approach, do you just sort of march into the camp? Do you spy on it from behind, or what?
I'm gonna pull out my normal sword and get my shield ready just in case, and then just march straight up.
Okay. In stark contrast to how Meira kind of checked out the camp, Peiko, in full Ambrian armor, with a shield and a sword, just marches up. The pack's still there. Everything looks more or less as Meira described. The ruins, when you're standing in the camp itself, are a little more discernible. You have trouble seeing what's inside, though. There's a gloom, and it's an oppressive gloom, even from outside, sort of shading the entrance. And at this close of a degree, you can tell that it's not a doorway. It's more that a portion of this fortress wall has just been battered down, or perhaps it fell due to age. And what lies beyond is as of yet unknown. However, that booted foot that was spotted over just beyond on the ground to the south of the ruin is connected, you can see, with a leg, and presumably more of a body, but you can't actually tell too much unless you were to walk around the edge, because it's still fairly obscured from your field of view.
Picome is gonna glance around, make sure that there isn't anyone who's not supposed to be behind her waiting around before going up.
Yeah. Roll me vigilant. You can just do a normal roll.
I think
All
I
right.
succeeded.
Everything looks fine. Yeah. It does strike you as odd that Meira is behind you. You expected her to have run away as soon as you started walking up to the fort, but she's there, and everything else seems fine.
Can I even see Dane?
No.
Oh, we've lost Dane. It's unfortunate. We'll just have to carry on. I'm going. How tore up is the pack? Like,
I mean,
could it still carry its own contents?
Yeah, it could definitely carry its own contents. It's made of leather, and it looks quite well made, to be honest. you can just see down at the bottom where the seam line connected different strips of hide. It's been chewed through, and there's a hole maybe a little larger than a mouse, actually almost to the size of your fist, burrowed into the side of the pack. And there are bits of paper and bedding and other things that have been kind of strewn right around the base of that hole. But the pack is definitely still full of other things.
Well, then, for the moment, she's just gonna quickly sling it over her shoulder, and when they have a better chance, check it out.
Okay. So you steal the pack, and what then?
Hey, it's not stealing, it was abandoned.
You claim the pack.
Thank you. Alright, and then I will go make my way over to the corpse.
Okay.
Alleged
As you're around the
corpse.
corner, you can see the rest of this area behind the ruins, and it's pretty normal, save for the dead guy. Just some regular forest ground that gives way to a very leaf-cluttered bank, and then the river. There aren't any boats or anything like that along the shore, and the person is laying face down on the ground. It looks to be a man of maybe a little taller than average height, maybe a little larger than average too, just in terms of general physique, but he is very dead. And you can't tell much other than the fact that he's wearing pretty tattered up leathers. They look well cared for, but also well used. He's clearly an adventurer. He has sort of brown hair that's kind of tangled and matted at this point, and there are 4 arrows sticking out the back of his between his shoulder blades, really. Just a pretty dense cluster. It looks painful, perhaps even lethal.
Would the arrows have come from the keep or from the forest?
He's close enough that if you had to guess, you would guess it probably came from somewhere other than the keep. But at the same time, you only have well, before I say that.
Suddenly, a bunch of arrows.
Roll the dodge. No, I mean, you'd be making a bit of an assumption, because did he die in this position? Did he crawl himself? You aren't really the best woodswoman in the world, but as far as you can guess, it probably came from the forest.
All right. Gonna take one last glance around and then step inside the ruins.
Okay. Mayra, Dane, are you guys just sort of hanging back and observing right now?
I think Mayra would have repositioned to a spot where she can kind of
Yeah.
see better from different angles.
Clearly, Mira is keeping an eye on Pekome, and Dane is keeping an eye on Mihira.
Right.
You know, buddy system.
I'm not sure that's... I don't think you described the buddy system, but
The buddy system, where you stay at least 30 feet away.
where you
The buddy
each split up.
system, where your buddy goes and does that thing for you.
Yeah, gotcha.
Your
Alright.
buddy system, where as long as they aren't out of sight, you're good.
So Pekome, to Mayra's eyes, steps into the broken portion of the wall, and then it's ungainly footing, to say the least. You're not quite touching floor as you cross over. But the Ambria Knight kind of steps through the awning and almost immediately disappears. You can't make anything out of the interior at this point. Pekome, you step forward and immediately fall. So
What?
I'd like you to roll. I think your armor, or is it? Oh, I really should have looked this up earlier.
We did it before.
Yeah, you roll. I think it's quick, possibly to void, but I'll just take a quick sec to look it up.
Good one.
Thanks. I'm gonna get a drink while Kevin is looking that thing up.
Well, Dane's dead.
It does sound that way.
Dane takes his flask from his hip and he takes a large swig of sweet tea.
Okay, narrative follows. Okay, successful quick roll allows you to land you better. Yeah, so go ahead and roll quick for me.
Any disadvantage?
Just quick. It looks like.
My quick's not even bad. I'm just high rolling.
Yeah, your quick's actually quite good, but you aren't. Got him. And
Got him.
from there, so that would have subtracted 3 meters from the fall. Okay, you can soak damage with your armor if you'd like.
I would, yes.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
Just roll the armor.
Yeah, just, I mean, let's see. How much does your armor soak?
1d8.
Yeah. I think you just roll to defend with the armor, and then it would either work or not, right?
Damage negated 5.
There you go. Great. Good work. So you successfully soak 5 damage from the fall. That's feet. So yeah, just take 2 points of damage to just your regular health. Congratulations.
All right, cool. Not close to death at all.
Are you saying that ironically?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm very close to death.
That's not good. What? You're at 9 out of 11.
That's very close.
Okay. All right. In any case,
That's one cold ghost away from death.
Pekome, you're not wrong. Pekome steps through, and in defense to Peko, she didn't just walk through and not look down. But it is quite dark and it's oppressive, and maybe when you step inside it'll be a little clearer. That turns out not to be true. You step into the void and just immediately plummet down. You can see almost nothing, but there does appear to be a little bit of a green overgrowth and vinery around you on the walls of this shaft as you descend, and then you slam into the ground, and you slam into it quite hard. But you have very well-made noble armor with some cush leather padding on the inside. You landed on the pack. Yeah, that works too. You land on the pack. Head gets a little bit of whiplash, but the rest of you is pretty well sorted out. And whatever is in the pack gets pretty thoroughly crushed.
Nice.
Sitting up, you can see still almost nothing. You might want to light a torch or something, but a little dim
Light
light
a sword, you say? I'm kidding.
Oh god.
does filter in from above, and around you you can see that you're within some kind of sunken structure. The walls around you are man-made, or at least sentient-made. And you seem to be at something of an intersection. A crumbling staircase to the side looks like it might lead up to where the watchroom that you stepped into once stood, and now you're at a corridor that spreads off in each direction. But you cannot make out more than 3 or 4 feet past you in any of them, and you're rather disoriented from the fall.
Is it very noisy when Pekome hits the ground?
It is real noisy. You hear an ungodly clatter of metal, probably an involuntary shriek at some point. Yeah, there's a whole lot of noise in the event.
Something about how much she hates this forest.
Meira makes a animal noise, maybe like a bird call or something. I imagine that being barbarians and having lived in precarious, questionable places of various wildernessness, that Meira and Dane have probably kind of set up some kind of calling noise.
Yeah.
It means come here.
And one that means go away.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah, so
That call sign is Picome.
there's a whoo, whoo. It's definitely a lot more impressive than that.
Yeah, of course. Dane will immediately start coming closer, and all of his 6 little floating arrows will zoom on after him.
Maida will begin to approach the ruins, but she's not going to go inside because that's a lot of noise.
Mm-hmm.
Dane will take the lead here and head up right to the entrance and look inside.
So, the occlusion strikes you as perhaps somewhat mystical in nature, even because as you look inside, you have trouble making out anything. You can't tell whether they're ground, which you might normally be able to see, but the crack in the wall that Peka stepped through does require a bit of straddling to get past. It's 2.5 feet above the ground. Otherwise, it just leaves a lot left to your imagination because it's almost pitch black. And if you stick your head through, it's still much the same. But as you look down, you will see there is no floor and certainly no Peka.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Is what Dane yells.
Yeah, that was
Into.
unintelligible.
Well, that's okay. He yelled Pekome into the
Is that
hole.
what he yelled?
Yeah, I can do it again.
No, please
No.
don't.
It
Oh,
sounded.
okay.
It just sounded a lot like a gurgle.
Well, then that is all you hear.
Well, Picome is gonna drink this elixir of life
Okay.
before she trips and falls down another hole.
Sensible.
So, what's the healing on an elixir of life?
It's an excellent question, man.
Probably 1d6.
I thought it was more than that because I thought I liked.
Consuming an elixir of life gives the drinker regenerative powers that heal 1d6 points of toughness during 1d6 turns on the
Oh.
character's initiative.
So it's temporary.
Sadly, the character also suffers 1 temporary corruption for each
All right.
turn the elixir is in effect.
Never mind. We'll not do that. Instead,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to turn this firewood I have into a torch.
Okay. So you can do that. It is probably going to require a level of dexterity that might mean Peiko, aside from putting the shield and sword off to the side, assuming she hasn't lost them on the fall. We'll probably have
Well,
to get
the
rid of at
shield's
least
strapped.
one gauntlet.
The
Sorry?
shield's strapped to my arm.
Mm-hmm.
The sword might have gotten lost.
Yeah, it's scattered off somewhere. Yeah, so you've got the shield. You probably have to just work one of the gauntlets off to actually get a makeshift torch to lighting condition.
Mhm.
But you manage it. It does cast some light on the surrounding area, and although it doesn't really illuminate above for you, for Dane, staring down the shaft, there is a cheery orange glow coming from below now, about 20 feet or so below you.
Okay. Dane's gonna look over to Meira, and he's gonna point back the way they came and get to horse.
Ada slinks over to the horse. And brings the
Get the
horse.
rope.
Okay. She will bring the horse and then get the rope and hand over
Just
the
toss
rope.
the horse down.
Here is the rope, brother.
How long's a rope?
I'd say 50 feet, maybe.
Okay.
Unless you bought specifically longer than that.
All right. I'm gonna ask something super stupid.
Yeah.
Are you gonna tie it to the horse?
No. Can I tie it to my arrow and then send my arrow around a tree in a loop-de-loop to make it tie the rope?
That's
Wow.
some Disney princess shit.
Yeah, that is some real Disney stuff. I think it's just like it's sort of like a novice level spell, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a level of intricacy that might be beyond
Maybe,
you.
I think if
maybe
you-
as I level it up.
I
Yeah.
think if you wanted to use it sort of like a grappling hook, where you were just aiming at a specific point.
Yeah.
tied the rope to it?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
you could
then-
definitely tie the rope to it and shoot the arrow at a tree.
Yeah, nah, that's not going to be good enough. Okay, Dane
Yeah,
will go
You
and
couldn't miss.
tie the
I
rope
wasn't going to tell
with
you not to
tree
do that, but
like a normal human
Okay.
being.
all right. Yeah, I'd say if you become a master of your art, you can
Yeah.
revisit that idea for
Yeah.
sure.
You know,
Okay,
it's a good thing my helmet has latches on it.
Why?
Otherwise, it could have gone flying off.
Ah, okay. I was like, are we using your helmet as some sort of handle to lift you up with the rope?
Why is
I was
that what
very
you thought?
confused. Cool. Good work, brother. This is a good plan. We toss the rope into the hole.
Do I suddenly just get hit with like 30 feet of rope?
Yes. Well, we can see your light now, so
Yeah, I imagine probably not 30 feet of rope, because it'll take 20 to go down, and if you're grabbing a tree nearby and then anchoring it with a pretty
Yeah.
good
Okay.
amount,
So
it's probably only going to
20
barely
feet
touch
of
the
rope.
ground, or maybe
Yeah.
have like 5 or 10 feet left over.
what do
Hey,
you see down there?
have you already dropped the rope?
Yes.
She's gonna pull on it as hard as she can
Okay.
to make sure it's tight.
So you pull on the rope, and you hear some creaking, but that's about it.
All right, cool. I see nothing. There is only darkness.
Heiko, I'd like you to roll me a vigilance check with an enemy disadvantage of -2.
Look, you don't have to do that. I'm guaranteed to fail.
Well, clearly not.
You made it too difficult. I had to succeed.
You were literally wrong.
So you do kind of, as you shout up and then maybe wave the torch in gesticulation and look around yourself, you see something moving in the shadows down the northern corridor from where you are. And if you take a moment to look, it looks like it might not be just one something, but several that are sort of creeping toward you. And it's difficult in the dark to make out just what they are, but they seem vaguely humanoid in shape. And the way they're moving doesn't seem particularly smooth or stealthy. They're just sort of walking towards you in a very sluggish fashion, rather. And they're maybe 15 or 20 feet away from you right now.
Okay. I don't trust these two to pull me out.
Well, I mean, fair. Fair.
Look, you two aren't exactly models of strength.
Wait, all the money's on you.
A day ago, you could have trusted Dane to help pull you out, but he is much reduced from an encounter with
What side of, like, this room where the vine's on? Is it the same side the rope is on?
So the vines do not extend all the way down to where you are.
Okay.
You saw them during the fall, so chances are you have no idea which direction they were in terms of a cardinal.
And did I drop my sword?
I mean, honestly, that's at your discretion. If you did, it can be within a couple feet. It's all right to get it.
Also, you have 2 swords.
Yeah, but only one of them fits in one hand. Alright. I'm going to grab the rope in my offhand so I don't lose track of it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to toss the torch at whatever those things are to get a better look.
Okay. The torch kind of somersaults its way down the hallway, and you catch glimpses of just very finely crafted stonework on either side of the hallway as it moves. And it spins and it spins, and then it cracks right into a kite shield and clatters to the ground. And the 3 people, and you can tell they are people now, that are just slowly moving toward you, are wearing armor of chain links and an exceptional amount of rust and wear. Some of the pieces look like they're fit to fall off, and other pieces look entirely serviceable, but they're all from roughly the same era. And there are 2 men and 1 woman, and they all look like they should be in a grave. Their skin is sort of leathery and this sort of sallow yellow color, and their eyes don't really seem to have much recognition to them. And they don't react to the thrown torch really in the least. They just, the lead person steps over it, and the other 2 do likewise as they continue on toward you.
Alright. I'm gonna come back for my sword later. I'm going to wrap the rope around my arm and start climbing.
All right. Great. Let's see. So you do start climbing, and you get above 5 or 6 feet pretty quickly.
I think Maida, when she sees the rope go taut, she's going to try to pull.
Okay. Let me see what Mara's strongest. 10, so that's average. Yeah, so Mara starts to pull, but it is real heavy. It feels like you have made 0 impact right away, because Peiko is tall and Peiko is covered in heavy armor.
And carrying
and
2
a pack. Yeah, and carrying 2 packs, which brings me to the next part of this equation, which is Peiko.
Yes.
You start climbing, and almost immediately you are very you're approaching your limit, right? Like, you're wearing a lot of gear that is not meant to be pulled on 2 arms. So go ahead and roll a strong for me, with a disadvantage of, say, -2.
Oof.
All right, that's not a success. You start managing to pull yourself up, and you do get to the point where your feet are kind of scrabbling against the stone wall, maybe 7 feet in the air, which isn't really quite as far as you would like to be right now. and you start to flag. You are making less and less progress, and then you're making no progress at all. You can keep holding yourself up, but for the moment, you're not making any headway, and the three figures are nearing your feet.
Am I currently out of reach?
So you're out of reach from their hands. That said, they have swords and a spear, so you're not necessarily safe quite yet.
And has Dane tried to help at all?
Do we
Dane's
see them?
going to continue watching at first through the hole. But yeah, once he actually sees these people, he'll start helping pull.
Okay. And yes, Stella, you do kind of see them because the light source that was providing really your only illumination down there was thrown down a corridor. You don't really see too much outside of the light that reflects off Peiko's armor as she draws near. That said, there is a residual glow coming from what you can only assume is a hallway to the north down there. And there are shapes that appear really more blocking out the light than illuminated by it as they get closer. So between Dane, Mayra, and Peiko all making an effort, you will be able to keep pulling the noblewoman up until she can hook a gauntleted arm over the edge of the gap. And with quite a bit of work, you all wrestle her back out onto the ground.
Pickarm is just gonna collapse on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Dane's gonna go back to focusing on the hole and in the wall, and if anybody's coming up it.
Fortunately, Peiko did wrap the rope around her arm,
yeah.
so there isn't enough left for them to try and climb up. And as far as you can tell, there's no levitation going on quite yet.
They looked like they shouldn't be alive. Their armor was rusted and old, and their bodies more so.
Dead things. Mayra will scamper over to the tree and begin to unknot the rope.
And whatever that darkness is, it's not normal.
Is this the place we were supposed to go? Dane wonders, kind of sounding a little uncertain.
If only ruins had labels.
Do not think so. We are here to find all this, not a ruin with dead things.
Pecoma is just gonna sling the other pack off her shoulder towards Dane.
Dane will catch it and start going through it.
Okay, great. As Dane starts doing that, Peiko, you do kind of think back on what you saw, and it's not the first time probably that you've heard of The Walking Dead. You aren't old enough to have actually fought in the war down in Albertor, but you do know that the Dark Lords raised legions as you know, your kin basically fought and died. They would be raised back as something called Draghouls to fight the people they were fighting for only minutes before. And this seems to fit the bill. I mean, as far as legends go, the idea of the undead is not really unknown, and barbarians would be familiar with the concept, if not quite so familiar as the folks who got their nation chewed up not too long ago, just 20 years ago. Dane, you start going through this pack, and it certainly has not been done any favors by its brief stretch of possession by Peiko. It takes a little bit of work to get the top open, and as you pry the pack open, you see there are a number of supplies. There's not a ton that's very interesting, although you could raid some blankets, an extra shirt, a couple things like that. However, near the middle section of the pack, there is a soft leather journal. and a couple corners of it look like they've been chewed by mice or something similar, but it is in serviceable enough condition that you could rifle through it.
All right.
Can Dane read?
Yeah.
Can you
Everybody
read?
can read.
Can you read all languages?
No, not everybody can read all languages.
Can Dane read Ambrian?
I don't know. That's a great question.
It is. Okay, that's something we'll have to figure out here.
Well, at the
Like,
very least,
about
Pekome could read Ambrian if
now.
Dane can.
Well, is it Ambrian?
It is an Ambrian. If you open it up,
Dane's
you
not
discover
gonna bother. He's gonna throw it right back.
the script is Ambrian. You throw it back in the pack.
No.
Oh, to Pego.
Pekome.
Okay, all right, great.
Please don't
Just
throw it
making sure.
into the hole.
It goes
Straight in the hole.
I'd like you to roll athletics for me.
Shoots
No,
it.
that would be quick because that'd be a ranged attack.
Yeah, fair. So Peiko, you get a
Dang.
journal.
Pekome is gonna open it with her ungauntleted hand because the other gauntlet's still down
Down
there.
below, yeah. Alrighty. So as you open it up, you do find that it's not really a diary so much as a travel log. And leafing through it, you discover that this is an expedition, or the most recent expedition, because there are quite a few, which marks the owner or former owner as a rather successful adventurer, in that he's clearly gone in and out of Davokar more than once without dying.
Oof.
This most recent expedition was composed of Aro, Bamillo, Carmian, and Aldous. Which is a stroke of luck for you. In that.
Pekome is reading this out loud.
Okay. Yeah, and this is sort of the general notes that you'll glean together. It's not as written, but yeah, you do discover it was those 4 people, and obviously the mention of Aldous has piqued your interest, given that she's your target. And essentially what you get is that the expedition recovered the cuneiform tablet that the Ordo had contracted them to recover, and then they had stopped by this fort. And previously, the ruin was inaccessible. There was no gap in the stone at times that other people have gone through before, and so nothing had been discovered or explored below, because the top, although it's open, was inaccessible. People were never able to scale their way up, perhaps by some magical means or perhaps other, but it's written as if it's just a mere statement of fact. And when they discovered that there was a point of egress now, the lure of a potentially unlooted ruin so close to Thistlehold, as just sort of an added bonus for their expedition, which they had nearly completed already, proved far too great, and they had begun to see what they could see in the depths below. And that's the last entry. There's no mention of anything going wrong. There's just a lack of any further mentions.
Well, it looks like we found who we're looking for. Hopefully. Turns out she might have gone exploring into that ruin. At least this means we don't have to go find the actual excavation. Do either of you have lanterns?
I have items. It's on a tab. Where's the tab?
If you don't have a lantern, I would be very surprised.
I have firewood.
Really?
Flint and steel. I have a pocket mirror. Also
Are you
have a
gonna tell
whistle.
me about that?
Nope, that's a secret. No, you do not. You have not seen a lantern. Aha! I have climbing equipment.
Could have helped. Pickle may ask Dane if he has a lantern.
Dane looks to, I assume, is Mayor at the horse?
Yes, she is.
Looks to the horse, shrugs, and continues watching down the hole.
She's coiling up the rope and then stows it back on the horse.
Do we gotta get all this? Dane inquires.
We have to
pointing-
get the tablet. If for the order, we need the tablet. For our friend's mission, we need Aldous.
Do you think that's all this? Dane wonders, pointing down in the hole.
Unless something drastically aged her and her armor.
Yeah, no. What would have been really helpful if we asked for a description of what Aldous looks like?
Flashback, because that's what this is. This is powered by the apocalypse. We're playing that one game.
You're playing Blades
The
in the
flash,
Dark.
yeah,
now.
this is Blade in the Dark. We're
Fortunately,
flashing
we
back.
did ask what all this looks
Yeah.
like.
I feel like that would be an integral part of find this person. Okay, what does she look like?
I'm gonna say the way you guys went about getting this mission was anything but standard.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah. Okay, are they still visible?
They're mostly visible as lighter shadows upon a darker one, but they haven't gone anywhere.
I'm gonna
Okay.
knock over some rubble,
Nah,
On top
Dane's
of it.
just gonna shoot one.
Okay,
and then after that,
It
I'll knock
hits.
over rubble.
it does hit. How much damage does that do?
Yeah, we'll see.
It was like 1d6, wasn't it?
Roll, not /1 roll. 1d6. Select. Yes. 4. Does 4
Four
whole
damage.
damage.
Okay.
Hits him right in, like, the shoulder. That's a nice, you know?
Right, yeah, an arrow goes flying down the shaft and just catches one of the immobile figures on their shoulder. And it sinks in, and there's no expression of pain or anything. The person just stands there for a moment. Excuse me. And then the three hastily step back, and which is fortunate because rubble starts falling right around the kind of general area, and you can't really tell. They clearly take shelter from the overhead.
Okay.
But you got a good hit on.
Yeah.
Mayra,
Yes, Pickle May.
see if you can find another entrance around here that isn't a giant pit.
Okay, I can do this. I will begin the perimeter of the ruins.
Great. How far do you go about?
I think I would go as far as I would be able to sprint back if in the sign of danger.
Mm-hmm.
If I see something that I don't like looking at.
Great. So you kind of canvas out away from this this tower that's coming up from the ground, and your hopes might not be all that high because there really aren't any other ruins to see in the area. There's just this solitary broken spire. But doing due diligence, you do kind of head out to the south and then the southwest. And could you give me a vigilance roll, please?
I believe in you.
I have eyes. I know what I'm looking for. Flat?
Yeah, just flat. Wow.
It's a good thing it was flat.
Get it.
So as you're wandering your way southwest of the ruin, kind of towards the more forested area nearby. You do come across a peculiar little site. There appears to be, kind of in the shadow of a tree, a sizable amount of disturbed ground. Someone maybe was sleeping there or pacing there, and as Meira crouches down to kind of search the area more closely, there are a few little traces of food here and there, as well as a single feather that has been cut to serve as fletching, which must have fallen away from something in the past.
This looks like someone's been here. What would this mean to Maida? Stella doesn't know. But
What it
maybe
would mean-
Maida know.
To Meira. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. She gets the sense that someone has been there. Not really the sense, just that she knows someone has been there. As far as how recently, it's quite difficult to tell. You might have missed it if you weren't already looking for something. It looks a little old. The tracks, well, honestly, you can't see any tracks, but the disturbance doesn't look particularly fresh.
Maida will make her way back, and she'll tell the others that she found something. Evidence that maybe there were other people, or someone might have escaped. She'll say exactly what she found. That way they can deduce what they want from that.
Pekome's gonna point over to the body. It looks like that makes it look like someone else was here as well.
Yeah.
Maida
and
looks over at the body and tries to see if the fletching matches.
now that you've kind of thought about that, yes, the fletching looks quite similar to the arrows that are sticking out of the adventurer's back, and the path that you walked through the trees to the tower is relatively unobstructed. You could easily see that someone might have landed that shot, or a number of shots from that perch.
So, whatever slayed this one here, the fallen one, it was not one of the creatures below. Perhaps a
Maybe.
betrayal?
Either a betrayal or maybe those two that we saw coming from the boat.
The boat, yes, the boat.
How long does it look like this guy's been dead?
Well, has Peko had a lot of experience with bodies?
Dane has.
Dane has?
He talks to dead heads.
Yeah.
You know, that's an ability we didn't use to use it.
Oh god, poor Kevin.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, Dane generally wants to save his brushes with necromancy and magic in general until, kind of necessary.
Yeah.
Like when there's a body and it's full of arrows.
So now?
But Dane does have there are a series of yes or no questions that could lead us to some amount of conclusion as to maybe where all this went from here. So Dane will probably go and sit down with the body and try communing with it, I suppose.
Oh, you don't have to decapitate it first?
No, I do not.
That's just the convenience thing.
Yeah, that's just,
Well, we decapitated it because it was a witch and there was a bounty.
Yeah.
Bringing the rest of the body would have been a challenge.
Yeah.
Even.
So this is gonna take Dane a whole hour, as rituals do.
Well, While he sets that up, Mayra and Pekome can go check out the disturbed earth area and make sure whatever that was is gone.
Also, Dane doesn't succeed.
Well, we still have to waste an hour. 'Cause
Yes.
we don't know you immediately failed, right?
Yes.
Also, Dane's an abomination.
No, he's good.
Maida will insist that the horse stay with Dane in case he needs to make a getaway or something.
Okay. Yeah. So Dane spends quite a while just communing and cajoling and attempting to get this spirit to come back, with an increasing level of frustration that can probably be heard even as you go away and do your investigations.
Maida will lead Pekome back to the site that she discovered earlier.
Pekome's gonna keep her shield ready, expecting like arrows to come flying out at any moment.
Okay.
I shall
So
search.
Keiko, swordless but shield full, wanders over there. Sorry, Mary, go ahead.
Now that Maida has put clues together, she's going to try to search for tracks leading away from the site.
Well, I examined the area.
Okay, roll. This is for Mayra specifically on the tracks. Mayra, roll a vigilance -3.
Oh god. Good luck.
Oh, dear dice gods, I love you. I have been a good servant.
Wait, no, don't take all of our luck. Oh god.
Nice.
We're doomed.
And in the meantime, Peiko, you can roll just a standard vigilance
Well,
check.
you so from the site there was disturbed earth. Does that look like it was recently dug up, or like,
No,
what kind of
it just looks like it's been traveled over, perhaps by a couple people. And maybe there was a smaller camp, but if so, it was much more subtle, with less of an impact on the ground. It just looks like things have happened there, really.
All right, then she will check around the site and see if she notices anything different.
Okay. Yeah, and you can just use a regular check for that. Mayra.
Hey.
Oh, all right. Well, roll again to confirm. Nope. All right. One of these days. In any case,
it's like we are playing without crit.
Yeah, no,
that's what's good about the rule, right?
Yeah, no, you can't just roll 1-1 if you're shit at a skill. You basically have to roll 2s. Two.
So Mayra is skilled when it comes to bushcraft.
When it comes to having eyeballs.
When it comes to having eyes and using them.
And not obscuring them with sheets of metal.
And not obscuring them with
Hey,
sheets
I
of
did
metal,
really
that's
good
right.
at looking. Excuse you.
I feel like it's very difficult to bill yourself as vigilant when you literally walked through a hole and fell 30.
Magical darkness.
It's fair.
Plausible deniability.
So Mayra, now that she's on the trail, hunts around the undergrowth, and to an untrained eye or a civilized Ambrian eye, there probably wouldn't be anything to discover at all. But to you, there are traces of movement, just slight contours of some soft-soled boot, and other hints. And for you, even as a somewhat skilled tracker, it proves difficult to put together much of a path. But you can clearly tell that there were a few different sets of footprints that all came to this site and left from it. And if you were to think over it for a while, the chances are that people who left these tracks were either exceptionally skilled members of the clan that occupies this territory, or perhaps elves.
Maida will spend about approximately an hour deducing what she can from
Great. Yeah, that sounds good.
Just gotta burn that time off.
Heiko, for your part, you do. I mean, you come to much the same conclusion that Mayra did. That people were there, and while she's hunting down the tracks of the area, you are able to kind of just search the spot beneath that tree in more detail. Certainly, if you spend an entire hour, do you?
I'm gonna spend the majority of an hour and then start getting ready, expecting Dane to have succeeded.
Okay. So, for you, under this tree, you're able to draw more detail out. Despite wearing a big old metal plate over your face, you are somewhat used to it. You got pretty good roll. So, you see that there are probably 3 different outlines of where people may have rested. And you can't tell any other hints or details that might suggest more people than that. So that's a number to go off of at the very least.
All right,
and sorry?
After finding what information she could, she would try to discuss with Mayra.
Sure. And as you're getting up, you do spot, kind of nestled in some of the pine needles of that area, there's a little flake of something. And assuming you pluck it up, your ungauntleted hand.
I pluck it with the gauntleted hand.
With the gauntleted hand? All right. Well, you kind of crush it a bit.
Well, it was more like scoop it.
Scoop it. Okay. All right. So you scoop up the whole little bit of ground and leaf and also the thing. And as you get it up, the relevant portion of this whole sentence is that it looks very similar to the whey bread that Dane had been eating on the way out here.
So far, the suspects are us. A good shot, an unerring shot of arrows, an expert tracker, and some whey bread. So apparently we've been here already and killed everyone.
As Paykomi is doing that, Maida is kind of like pacing around. Her eyes are tracking the different tracks, and she's using her fingers to count. And you just see her like pointing to her left, to her right. And she's just kind of big brain galaxy mental map, mind palacing this.
You just start having like a geography like layer, a topographical map show up of the whole area in front of you.
I whip out my hollow tablet. Beep beep boop beep boop.
You pull out your pocket mirror.
No, that's a secret.
Pekome is going to head over to Mayura and show her the whey bread and tell her about the 3 indentations.
That is very curious. Why would they kill their fourth?
That's assuming it was a member of the group and not another group. There are 2 camps. Because we found the pack over at the other camp, and then there's this one here.
Then what you think is that these 3 might be the tribesmen that live in the area. Sorry, clansmen.
No. Not clans. They don't have hoods.
Kory, stop.
They don't burn crosses.
And moving on.
Oh dear.
Is there anyone else it could be that you can think of?
No, do not think so.
She doesn't want to mention the elves? Question mark.
Ooh. Mira thinks about the arrows and the fletching. Oh, the arrows. She says, we might have to extract an arrow from the body to inspect if it is of elven craft.
You're welcome to try. Or your brother. Sounds like he could use another task from what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Alright. So the Pikome will start making her way back and, just like drop the handful of dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So what does she see? What is Dane doing as she makes her way back to him?
Dane has tried cursing. Dane has tried pleading. Dane even once tried threatening that he wasn't going to try anymore, and sat there aggressively silent for 10 minutes before trying some more. And I assume this is when you rejoin him.
Well, Mayra, it looks like that's all he's getting out of this body. She gestures her hand towards the arrows. Have at it.
I ain't speaking to it right now, Dane
Ready?
announces.
Mira crouch,
It feels the same way, she replies.
and she will rip out one of the arrows.
Well,
Okay.
now it's broken.
Oh. Okay. Mira would know how arrows work, and she would push it through?
You can pull it out. It's all right.
You just gotta be, like, not in one full go.
That might hurt for someone who's alive, but if there's one thing Kory has or Dane has figured out, it's that it's not in a communicative mood right now.
Well, maybe it's
So
just
it's
not
not going to
dead
go fine.
enough.
You pull the arrow out, and there's a bit of fabric and a bit of gore that are stuck to the arrowhead. That it doesn't pull free of that as cleanly as it does the rest of his body. And you're holding an arrow, really. It looks like it might be some sort of bone arrowhead, and the binding is quite fine, whatever gut or fiber was used to tighten it. But you can only draw limited conclusions from it, perhaps, made more difficult by the fact that a lot of what you've heard about elves have been secondhand, and you likely haven't inspected an awful lot of their arrows.
Secondhand might be generous.
All right.
Yeah.
In that case, reframing it with a different approach.
Sure.
Would I know if the people that own the territory of this area, are they likely to use these materials for...
Okay, absolutely. So the clan you guys would know are the Karohar. They're the ones who occupy this general area. And as far as you know, probably not. Like, using bone as an arrowhead isn't unusual. It's certainly something they might do if they don't want metal or other reasons like that. That said, it all does look just a little more clean and tidy and well crafted than you might expect from them.
Mira will relay this. So I'm uncertain, but there is a possibility.
All in all, it does rather add up.
Actually, now that I think about it, it all adds up. I am certain at this point.
I meant that more as a general collection of information from the party would suggest that perhaps these were elves that killed this man.
Can we zoom out and utilize some visual calculus on this map?
No.
Sorry. What?
Okay, can we zoom out?
Yeah,
Are you asking to go to the region map?
Yes.
Do you want the okay, the world map is
Now.
what you'd like to see.
Yeah. Just keep
Okay.
zooming out until we get there, man.
It totally
Okay,
works
I don't
like
know
that.
where we are, and we may not know where we are.
We're supposed to be around,
Around here.
yeah, in between there.
And
so-
last we saw elves, they were like around here. At least we assume elves or witches, because
yeah, we saw a witch.
maybe, or an elf. We saw a person riding a tree.
I think we were pretty sure it was a witch.
Did we see an elf, or did we? Okay, what did we think we saw? How about that?
You saw a giant construct.
Yes.
And someone riding it.
And it was like here-ish.
So
Yeah,
we're
there it was.
definitely like here somewhere.
I thought we were on the other side of this crossing.
We didn't cross any water. We've
You
been
have not crossed any
following the
water.
river.
Okay. So we've got general knowledge that there are lots. I mean, I don't know. It was a thought. Probably how this is communicated is that Dane mutters distrustfully about witches
Mm-hmm.
and not liking them.
Mm-hmm.
How is that different from what you are, Pekome? Questions.
That's like comparing a sword to an axe. And then Dane doesn't explain anymore.
Pekome is gonna look at Mayra. Do you think you could follow the track?
Do I think I can follow the tracks? I think.
Mayra's inner mind answers back
I think waits for the blank to fill.
that she could perhaps follow the tracks for a little ways, but judging by how difficult it was to get the trail in the first place, it wouldn't be a very time efficient process.
Maida
Where-
relays this.
They would be traveling faster than you would be tracking for sure.
So the way I see it is we can try to find the group that killed this person and either see if all this is with them or if they know what happened to her, or we can explore this ruin and see if she went down and got caught.
Important question. The little camp. Wait. So
we found
found
the Pact camp.
yes. I guess Maida had been looking at the tracks that she had been looking at were probably elves.
Yeah, the last we heard of our group was that they had decided to explore this ruin. And then you found a second group that is most likely elves.
Do you think that the boat is elven?
The boat only had 2 people. There were at least 3 of the group that was here.
Okay, so there are people.
There are multiple groups in these woods.
Yes. Well,
How big are elves? Dane wonders. I heard they were kind of small.
Kevin,
Mm.
was the guy shot in his front or his back?
His back. He's
Okay.
lying face down, or he was before Dane started appealing to his.
Better
Pekome
nature.
Pekome stares at the corpse for a moment. If he is the only body here, if the others of the group survived, then they must have fled into the ruins. That is the way he was heading.
That's a good point. Dane agrees.
He was shot in the back from the camp of elves.
yes.
So the only real question left is how do we get down there without getting killed by those. She looks down there to see if they're still in any form of sight or if the torch is even still going, which it probably isn't because it's been an hour.
Torch has sputtered out for sure.
Yeah.
You see absolutely nothing below.
I had seen we had seen a staircase, didn't we? Somewhere.
Yes, at the bottom where you had fallen. In more specifically, you'd seen a crumbled staircase that
Yeah, okay.
had started.
So no actual landings that we could
Right.
make those.
Yeah. You figure from your recollection of your experience down there that more or less you landed at the first accessible point.
All right. So we're gonna have to get down there, and we're gonna have to fight. I would recommend, she turns to Mayra, that you go first because you're the least likely to be noticed. Get you down there first, and then by the time I get there, you and Dane can be ready.
By the time you get there, everything will know that you are there.
Exactly.
I suggest we prepare the rope again.
But yes, that is how we were gonna get down.
Okay, just check.
I was not going to jump in.
Maida will get the coil of rope back out from the pack, tie it to the same tree, and she's going to attempt to stealthily wiggle her way down.
Maybe use some of the
Dane's gonna
quote-unquote
stop her.
gear she has.
Ah, yes, I have some.
Dane's
Well-
gonna stop her real quick.
I stop. I see the look in my brother's eyes.
Dane's gonna.
He wants to say something.
Okay. You did say I could tie the rope to an arrow.
Wait, is that what he says?
No, I'm asking the DM.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you can absolutely tie it.
All right. Dane's gonna tie rope to arrow. Dane's gonna pick up body.
What?
And Dane's gonna chuck body in pit.
Uh-huh.
What in
Huh?
Prius's name is wrong with you?
And Dane's gonna wait and see if the zombies go and investigate body in pit.
Okay.
I feel like there was like 100 other things you could have thrown first.
Yeah, we
No.
can't even see.
Yeah, that's true.
How are we supposed to know if they're messing with the body?
Wait, we were going to go down there and not be able to see anyway.
Right, but now they have a reason to investigate it
So-
beforehand.
No,
Dane
that's
shoulders this corpse
yes.
up and stomps to the bewilderment of his companions
Yes.
over to the gash in the wall of this spire, and he just chucks it down.
Yes.
And it vanishes in the dark almost immediately. If you
Uh-huh.
look down through, if you look over, you can see a little further down. But even then, the body quickly disappears into the dark, and you hear a somewhat distant, somewhat slick thud on the ground as your recent recalcitrant companion perhaps splatters a little bit on the floor below.
Did you do that just because you couldn't talk to him? Because I asked.
They're gonna come and look at that. Dane says knowingly. Get a torch.
She points to the hole. It's down there.
Dane waves at the pack, the pack from the other three, and says, "Mega torch."
Do either of you have oil?
Nope.
Dane?
The most shocking thing about this session is that Mayra doesn't have a supply.
Dane is busy staring intently into the pit.
Dane can hear distantly a little bit of shuffling in the darkness, but it's impossible to tell anything more than that.
Yeah.
Picome checks the Tauren pack for any sort of torch-related supplies she could use.
Just use the cloth, Dane says.
Cloth has to be treated to be used as a torch.
It doesn't need to be a good torch, Dane insists.
Our whole plan hinges on using a torch that might last only 5 minutes.
Or 5 seconds as it
Yeah.
falls down there. It's gotta be able to survive falling, too.
Man. Yeah, I don't have anything that can help. I have a fishing net.
So, is there anything in this pouch that could help with a torch, Kevin?
You see, so the pack itself is leather, which is not probably the best thing in the world to be burning.
Mm-hmm.
However, I mean, there is an assortment of clothing of various. Some of it wouldn't be suitable. Some of it is just like a cotton shirt, basically, and other similar things. You could see yourself potentially wadding together maybe a little smaller than an armful of burnable fabric, if you want.
Well, I guess that's what she's gonna do. She's gonna, like, clump it together into a big ball, put it on the edge, put some tinder under it, and light the tinder.
Okay.
And then when it catches, just wait for a moment, and then gently, with a gauntleted boot, tip it into the pit.
Yeah.
Because this is apparently what we're doing now.
Yeah, no, this is teamwork, and I approve of it. So yeah, Peiko gets a very weak, raggedy fire beginning to burn at the base of this clothing. It smells awful. There's a lot of blackish gray smoke rising in your face, but it does start to burn a little more, and as you kick it in, it definitely threatens to just flicker out in the rush of air as it descends, but it doesn't quite. And the ball of cloth falls and sort of scatters on the ground of the hallway. And you're granted 30 seconds to a minute of illumination by that makeshift torch. And down below, you can see that one of the figures, in fact, the figure with an arrow still sticking vertically up from one of its shoulders, has come to inspect the body and is prodding it with the haft of a spear.
We're gonna shoot it.
We?
Yeah. This is a plan, so it's a we thing. And it hits, as it's the magic arrow.
Mm-hmm.
And from there on, Dane's gonna try and fish it up.
Sorry. So you hit it with the arrow that has the rope on it. Yeah?
Yes.
All right. Just
And
making sure.
and then we're fishing it up.
Okay. So you did 4 damage to it. That's the second time you've rolled 4 for damage. So
Yeah.
This seems like a terrible idea, she says out loud.
They aren't gonna hang around the entrance once we do this, Dane insists.
Well, you two pull. She gets her sword ready. Her big sword.
So you're thinking that this arrow, which is embedded in the body of one of these dead things,
Uh-huh.
us pulling the rope is gonna carry the weight of their body up?
The great thing is that it doesn't even have to really last. If we get it, like, decently up, then it falls again. After having been shot twice, and it falls down this significant space of it. Look, it's gonna have some trouble.
Or, because it's like old dead skin, it's going to immediately rip out. Because there's no give.
That's fair. That's fair. But this is a plan.
Alright, Master of the Universe. How How long does this arrow last?
So, as you're having this discussion,
I don't think we are, but
you don't think. I mean, some of that sounded like it was in character. Okay, I don't know. Anyway.
questions everything you.
okay. Dane isn't in an answering mood.
Okay, yeah, Dane
I
is
may.
doing right now.
Yes, this
And
is
what
a
Dane
doing time.
does is pull on the rope. It is perhaps not a surprise that the arrow more or less just pulls straight out of the body. What may be more surprising is that before the rope goes up very far, this undead figure below snaps its free hand up and grips the bottom of the rope. So now Dane is pulling from above, and the undead creature is silently pulling from below.
This is just as good, Dane insists, mostly focusing on pulling it up.
Well, at least
Become-
now we don't have to fight in the dark. It's going to climb up here.
Pikome's gonna wait till it's like almost up here, and then she's just gonna cut the rope.
Oh my god.
We've got
Okay.
3 things of rope, and I'm not letting the thing get up here.
All right, so Dane is pulling the undead creature up, and the undead creature is pulling on the bottom of the rope. Now, at first, it doesn't look like it's necessarily trying to climb. It's just holding the rope down, and its companions appear to also hold on to the rope. And then the original 2-arrowed undead does begin clawing its way up. And just as it's becoming actually visible for the light provided by that torch, flickers during the ascent and fades entirely.
Does it have like? Is it climbing with both hands? Does it have a weapon out?
So it's climbing with only one hand. It sort of pulls itself up and then just snakes its feet around the rope to anchor itself in place, and then it reaches up again. And that's the first thing you see, sort of a withered hand reaching up out of the darkness to grasp a bit of rope, and it pulls itself. And it's just then that Pekome draws forth a 2-handed sword that lets out a keening, otherworldly moan and slashes down and severs the rope right where it connects with the stone of the gap. And that glimpse of the undead creature quickly vanishes as it too vanishes and falls down the shaft. And moments later, you hear a quiet thud, and then nothing.
Well, next rope.
There's no guarantee that this is killing them. Maida hands over the next rope.
Well, we'll see if they try to climb this one.
Okay.
So, just tie this rope up and toss it down, and then wait
Yeah.
to see if there's any movement on it.
Yeah, just kind of wait and see.
Okay, so you cast the rope down.
We're fishing.
And
Said we were gonna fish.
goodness.
Maida literally has a fishing line and hook. And that's basically what we're doing right now.
Yeah. And you wait. And maybe you lean forward to squint down into the black to see whether anything happens. And a few seconds go by, and then a minute goes by. And it doesn't seem as though anyone is trying to climb up the rope this time.
If I grab the rope and lift it, do I feel any, like, does it go taut, or is it just, like, completely loose?
It does.
Which?
To the first. It does go taut. You reach out and you pull, and after just maybe a few inches of progress, the rope snaps tight
Mayor, get your bow ready. They're coming.
Don't go cutting it this time, Dane says. And then he'll start to pull said rope up.
Maida will back up and draw her bow.
Okay. Dane, I would like a strength -4 test.
That ain't passing.
Probably not.
Hey, you have 5 left.
Okay. So you pull on the rope as you did last time, and I
Yeah.
mean, they're dead, but they aren't exactly light. And the first time it did take a little bit out of you. This time, it just absolutely nothing happens. It's like you're trying to pull on the very foundations of the structure.
Mara, you're able to.
Okay, I pull.
No. Pickham is just gonna hold a hand out. You stay over there. She's gonna go a bit behind Dane and pull on the rope.
Okay, I stand over there and I have my bow ready.
Because it's gonna be very dangerous for Pekome to get a hit in. But Mayra can safely get a hit in.
All
And
right.
she's gonna help pull.
You both pull and strain, but nothing really happens. It doesn't feel as though you're contesting with people holding a rope anymore. It feels as if you're just pulling on an immovable line almost.
They tied the rope.
Think they could do that?
They know how to climb. They knew enough to check if that body was alive.
That's true.
There's some sentience there, however low. She looks over at Mayra.
Maida is just kind of standing there with an arrow knocked, ready to
Are you
pull back
ready?
on her drawstring.
Are you ready for plan 1?
What is plan 1?
You first.
If they have tied the rope, then they are expecting us. I think this is a bad plan.
Look, the rope is tied on both ends. You can go down quickly, you and Dane. Hold them off for just a moment, and then I'll be down there to help fight.
Doesn't that sword fire? Dane wonders
we did
regretfully.
see the night lady literally set it aflame.
Yeah. Out of character, you guys are trying to kill me. In character,
Excuse me? You're trying to kill us.
would literally instantly kill me.
You've had like 5 days to heal up that.
We've literally had to.
I feel
Maida,
like it's fine.
Maida says, perhaps we should consider cutting our losses. We can return. They have a rope, but we can buy another, and we can buy torches.
We're not-
Where on your
What?
sheet did I put the abilities for Black Gift?
I don't think you did.
I wrote them out. I haven't looked since the sheet updated. Huh. Well, whatever. I'll find it later. Carry on.
Does anyone think concentrated magic is flammable?
Well, you can pour a little tiny.
Dane's gonna pop open his
Man,
concentrated magic.
If only you had drank it before talking to that corpse.
Dane's gonna drink his concentrated magic and see, or smell his concentrated magic and see if it smells like alcohol.
Just pour a drop or two, and I have my flint and steel, and I'll see if it ignites. It might explode.
Oh my god.
God.
Should have just stayed down there and died.
Dane tries out this plan of pouring out a drop or two on a stick.
Okay.
Wait, but then we won't know if it's the stick catching.
What time of day is it?
Oh god.
It's past afternoon. It's probably late afternoon or early evening. The sun is in the sky, but is well on its way to setting.
So, like, the sun shines over it and there's just darkness there, like, even though there isn't a roof?
Yes.
Okay. Dane, is there anything magical you can do about this darkness?
Dane shoots an arrow into it.
There's a quiet thud, and then a scrabble of sound as the arrowhead fails to bite into the stone and plummets down.
Dane shrugs and continues magical experimentation.
Yeah, so you've dropped a couple drops of your concentrated magic elixir on a stick, and now you're trying to light it on fire?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
You
stick
were
lights on fire.
smelling it before you dripped a little bit out, and it does smell a little bit like ether or a little bit of an alcoholic tinge. It doesn't smell like something you'd want to drink. Well, you have to drink it, in fact, that's how you use
Yeah.
it. But it doesn't
But
smell like something you want to drink, necessarily. But there's definitely perhaps some level of alcohol in the suspension that holds the concentrated magic. When you light the stick on fire, it does plume into a pale blue glow, but only for a moment. And then it burns down into just a smoldering stub where the flame had been moments before.
Think it's too good? Dane wonders.
Yeah, maybe making a makeshift torch with
Maybe don't make a magical
cloth
bomb.
and another few elements would
Yeah.
suffice.
That's probably our best bet. All right. Well, Dane's gonna get to ripping up that blanket.
Yeah, okay, great.
Mira watches the hole with her bow ready in case they climb.
Mm-hmm.
Parrot back. June just yelled "ow" from another room.
Hey, Komi, what are your thoughts?
Pickrome kicks rubble into the hole. I hate this place.
Yes.
Ooh, if only we could find a different way in.
Think we don't have many options. I did look around.
What all do you have on you? Pickrome asks, looking towards her pack.
Mira will open it up, and there's cooking equipment, firewood, flint and steel, rope, water skin, lots of arrows, a grappling hook, climbing equipment, lockpicks, mirror, spyglass, fishing net, whistle, tent, a weapon maintenance kit, Bandages.
A mirror, you say?
Bandages, crayons, fishing line and hook, needle and thread, soap, a whetstone, elixir of life, whey bread, and a weak antidote.
Okay. You could. Picome looks at the stuff, glances at the hole. Okay. I can go first down this rope while you... Dane and I will go down this rope. You use your hook, sneak along the side, and then try to get a vantage point where they won't see you.
Does the terrain here make this a possibility?
We know that, like, the only landing was the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just
But
climbing down
with
two
your-
sides like a
With your
giant
climbing gear, you could like fasten a point for yourself in the wall where you could just hang on to.
Ah, okay. I see. Like make some makeshift footholds or something.
Or like put a platoon in the wall and then tie yourself.
Okay.
You just keep out of reach, but then you can like participate in the fight and drop down when there's a good spot.
Okay.
And
Okay,
Dane
okay.
can fire arrows the whole time while climbing.
Oh man. It's gonna... Okay. It's gonna be some creative dungeoneering here. How's that torch looking?
All right,
Dane
Dane,
is
did you
just
succeed
ripping up
in
the blanket.
torch?
into strips. There's gonna be lots of torch.
All right, well, let's start off with getting your grappling hook in a safe position.
Okay. Maida will take the final rope that they have, tie it to the grappling hook, and try to find a serviceable spot that would support a grappling hook.
The DM has abandoned us. He's tired of us.
it. Let's see. So you're trying to identify a good spot for you to put the grappling hook, eh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Give me a vigilant check.
Oh no. I've rolled too many of these. Eventually I'm gonna start failing miserably.
Or you'll just succeed forever.
Oh shit.
Optimism.
Oof. Okay. You do look through the area and you do identify what looks to be a spot that you could probably anchor the rope to descend.
Okay. Maida will try to probably wrap the rope around her waist, or I'm sure there's a way that she can hold the rope, right? So that like she could reasonably hold herself in a spot and like drive in some pitons into the wall or whatever to make
So-
like
Just as an aside, it's piton.
pitons. Sorry.
No, let us say it as many wrong ways as we can, Mr. Climbing Guy.
Man, the
Piton.
climbing fandom doesn't fuck around.
You could, isn't it you like hook it under your leg?
Yeah,
rope?
yeah, whatever. What the fancy way to, you know, yeah.
So, I don't quite understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to go down in a mount and stop and then anchor into the wall with what? Or how?
So I have climbing equipment.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is essentially drive in a piton.
Piton. Piton.
Piton. Driving two pitons. and,
High tones.
and like, with that, I will have something to stand on. Right?
She wants to suspend herself against the wall
And then
so
I'll
she can.
tie the rope around myself, and then I'll be basically on the wall, above the ground, and I can shoot down into it.
I don't think that works.
Oh dear.
Why not?
Because you're not going to have any, like, arm range. You got to get your arms behind you to shoot a bow.
Well, I mean, I don't have to, like, stand completely... Like, I can, like, lean forward. The rope
Well,
is
that's what
tied around my
the
waist.
rope is for.
So
This is an awful plan, y'all. I don't know. I'm doing what...
You're committed at this point. You're trying to do this thing.
Yeah.
So you have an anchor point set up above, which is good. It's a good first step. Now, we'll say that part of climbing gear is a set of pitons.
Okay.
Just to make sure we're all on the same page about pitons, they are sort of a metal spike with a loop at the end, and the idea is that like you'll use a climbing hammer to sort of hammer it into a seam or a crack. To use it as an anchor point. It's just gonna be interesting. That's all.
So would it seem like
take a little bit of time?
Would it seem like the more logical thing to do would be to just literally wrap the rope around myself and just hang from the grappling hook?
So, I mean, I think that's probably a little more convenient. That said, if you wrap it, if you like tie yourself in to a point where you feel safe being there, for one thing, no one else is probably using that same rope.
Absolutely, yeah.
We're separating ropes.
For another thing, it's not going to be very quick to get back to being able to move, right? So, like, once you tie yourself in, you're gonna be committed to being in that length of rope tied in.
Yeah, the only option would be to go back up, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely, like, if you had anything in your hands, you could drop it and you could climb your way back up. But you're definitely not getting any further down or disentangling yourself from the rope without quite a bit of commitment.
Yes.
Just so you know. But with all that said, it is something you can do for sure.
Okay. Yeah, Mayra will descend a few feet out of spear range.
Go about like 10 feet down because it's a 20-foot drop.
Maybe a little less than 10 feet because a spear is gonna be able to hit me.
Yes.
So less than 10 feet.
Mm-hmm.
But closer.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I tie myself up and then I just start to kind of slide down. And I'm just hanging there now. With my feet on the wall, probably?
Yeah, okay. So you,
And
you
then
do
we
all
just
this.
cut the rope and leave.
Wow. That's not exactly the least expected course from the fully armor-clad person who wants to go down last into a melee with undead people. But Mayra descends into the shaft. And it's quite dark. And you get perhaps, we'll say 6 feet or so down before reaching the end of your tether, as it were, and you're tied in. It's gonna be a little awkward feeling for sure, even if you took the time to sort of make a makeshift harness out of it rather than just a loop. It's not very comfortable, and it's going to be pretty inconvenient to kind of squirm around so you're facing down. But you can, and by the time you're facing down and it's kind of cutting into your gut a little bit, you're in place. You are suspended about a little shy of halfway down the chasm, and whatever lies below you is still obscured.
Maida hates us, by the way.
As well she should.
All right, is our torch ready?
Yes.
Well, torch man.
Dane will light a torch and begin descending, I suppose, one-handed.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
You could just drop the torch, like have it be at the bottom while lit, like.
Yeah, I mean, it'll get dropped when necessary.
So Dane starts descending. What is Peiko doing?
She was descending in front of him.
Oh,
Okay.
she's... Oh,
So
first,
Peiko's
fancy.
below Dane right now.
Yes.
Okay. Alright. There's a moment where there's actually a number of moments where sort of the logistics of squeezing around where Mayor is hanging is accomplished with perhaps the odd curse and clang of metal armor in Peiko's case, because it is not the most spacious area, and you're working out of the same entrance site, so it's a little rough. But you get past her, and you start to get down. Does Peiko just go to the bottom?
No, she's gonna stop like 10 feet up first, and then tell Dane to drop the torch from there.
Okay.
All right, Dane, let's go.
All right. So Dane is also on the rope. Like, just how much space are you keeping between yourselves?
Like a foot or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is Peiko's setup right now? Like, does she have her shield out? Does she have her sword like out awkwardly somehow?
She's got the shield out right now. She's gonna block until like they're both ready, and then probably try to find her short sword.
Okay.
Or her normal sword.
Yeah. Okay. So the torch, which is burning an unsettling shade of blue, if only unsettling for the fact that it's quite reminiscent of the frost lights that you encountered previously. But otherwise, seems to be a resounding success for the effort and material that went into it.
Good job, Kory.
Plunges down the shaft and lands at the bottom, next to the body of the corpse that you unceremoniously pitched down earlier. It does illuminate a trio of undead who are staring expressionlessly up. And one of them, the one with the spear, stabs Peiko.
Stabs at.
Well, stabs Peiko.
Stabs at.
And yeah, let's see.
Is this the one that's been shot twice? Is it the spear one?
Yes, that is the spear one.
Okay.
It has been shot twice. Yeah, if you just want to roll to defend, I will see what base damage does.
3 idiots, 2 hours, and a tunnel later.
Maida still thinks we should have just left.
4 to 7 idiots.
Yeah. At least you have company. Yeah. So what does that roll turn it out to?
I haven't heard a modifier.
Oh, it. As far as the feasibility of it, it hits you.
Real? Like I have no chance to block it with my shield?
you're climbing down a rope. Like I can't imagine any world in which. All right. Well,
we had vision of him. It wasn't just in pitch dark, and I had my shield out, like on my arm.
I don't see you dodging climbing down a rope.
But you're using the arm to hold yourself up, right?
Yeah. Well, I would be using the one without the shield, and then like I'd be using both, but then if I see him swing at me, I'd try to block it with my shield.
And I understand that, and I appreciate that you have it, but at the same time, you're suspended in the air, holding on with one hand. Your balance is caught between that hand and like if you manage to get your feet on the wall, otherwise they're just dangling, and then you've got I can't imagine a world in which like the spear does not get you. That's all. Like I don't want to be like, oh, you just get hit for a lot of things, but this is definitely one where I can't imagine it even being a contest.
Well, then I guess I'll just put it like as a -13 because in order for armor to do anything,
just balance it out to be a hit. Okay, so you negate 6 damage out of 7. So the spear punches up, and you try to bat at it with a shield, but it just basically waits for you to swing, and then it stabs up. It catches your armpit as your arm is swinging, but Peiko is fortunate enough to have a pretty fine chain mesh there, and the rusted point of a spear grinds up into the links, and it does pierce through just a little bit, but by and large it's caught, and that's that.
Right, well, the other 2 people should probably shoot.
Made, I will shoot.
Okay. Alright, so let's get some initiative tracks out, I guess. Ta-da. Oh, are we? No, let's go back to the zoom.
Yeah,
in.
why are we on this map?
Because of you, Kory. All right.
And it is our quick, right?
Yeah. Huh, why is Dane's not named? Why is
Because he's
Dane's
never
name
named him. Is
not there?
joking.
Oh, okay.
Normally, I do it halfway through the session.
I was like, I swear it's been there before. Alright.
Your quick is like 9, isn't it, Kory?
Five.
Okay, so you go last.
Yeah. Which is good, because I'm at the top of the rope.
What do you mean at the top of the rope?
As opposed to the bottom.
Okay. So this is the start of combat. It is Peiko's turn.
Okay. Can I see my sword from up here?
Yes.
Anywhere?
Looking down, you see, one of the undead is essentially below you with the spear poking you. The other 2 are a short distance away. They look ready to engage when given the opportunity, but they're staying far enough away that things don't just fall on them. Off to the side, near the crumbled stairs, you can see the glint of steel off of the bluish light from Dane's torch, and it's partially buried in some rubble where it's fallen, but it does look fairly accessible if you make it down there. Although it'll be, if you're trying to get all the way over to it, you will probably come under attack along the way.
What if I jumped for it?
You can do that. Go ahead and give me a roll of.
This time it's only 10 feet.
Yeah, it is. It's only 10 feet.
So it's much less dangerous.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be a quick roll to avoid, damage, to land well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's kind of an accurate roll to jump towards it. Because you're spotting it and then trying to jump off the side of the wall to get the right momentum and drop down.
For me, it would be a vigilant roll, because when I throw projectiles, I use vigilant.
Well, it would be quick to land, and then I would have to use my movement, or it would be the action to jump, and then the movement to get to the sword.
You're
right?
you're using yourself as a projectile, so it's definitely accurate.
You're jumping past them toward it, to avoid being attacked. Is right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what. I think that's accurate.
Well,
You
probably
can make I don't know. You can make it a disadvantage of 2 because
probably not what I'm gonna do then.
Oh,
If I take 1 point of damage, I'm unconscious.
what?
Oh,
Oh, are
That's
you
not
counting
much.
up with your toughness?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. Huh?
that's not a large number. That's a very small number.
I wonder why you're complaining about being at 9 out of 11. That's really healthy.
Nope. I was at half of my health for the past 3 sessions, and then strong was my health, and we got strong taken away from us.
Yeah, no, I recall now.
So
Okay.
essentially took double damage.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, I guess, what could I do? Could I just try to drop on top of the guy and kick him in the face?
Absolutely.
Would this still be considered accurate, or?
He's right below you.
Yeah.
You just need to let go.
All right. So now what do you want me to do?
Yeah. I'm thinking about that.
Do I need to do quick to see if I take damage, or strong to see if it lands?
Yeah, just roll quick just to see how you come out of the landing, right? Whether you're kind of tangled up with him or it's all according to plan.
And the modifier is?
Just a 0. Well, actually, I thought. Hello, sir. You look at your stats. Just 0.
All right. Moment of truth.
Smear the kitty. With mud.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
Oh, I should be rolling my armor for that, because my armor is a quick, but I guess it would still be 3 lower. It's hard to. So, because the armor absorbs the blow of falling.
Oh yeah, no. This was just to see how it goes. This wasn't to take damage for it. If you're only 10 feet up and you're landing on someone who's almost 6 feet, it's fine. You're not going to get hurt. What you are going to get is a little tangled up. So Peikome drops off the rope and just plummets straight for the spear wielding Dragul. And
We have a name now.
We've had a name for a long time.
And
We also have a name now.
She lands right on him. He collapses to the ground without even a hint of complaint or discomfort, and Peiko lands right on top of him and tumbles to the ground. The roll is a little uncomfortable. She finds her legs are caught up with his, and she's kind of pinned between the floor and the spear, which is now resting over one of her shoulders as the ghoul tries to kind of push back up to its feet. And that's I mean, I guess that's your turn, right?
Yeah, that was my... well, I can't move because I'm pinned, and that was my attack.
Yeah,
so.
I guess if you want to use the, like, as the movement part of your turn, because that was more of an attack than a move, even if it carried movement with it, you can kind of try to extricate yourself.
What would you want me to do for that?
Just roll your
Strong?
I think it will be strong. Just double check.
To break out of a pseudo grapple.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll your strong, and it will be opposed by oh dear. So strong -5.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna break out
Yeah,
of
these
this.
things are actually ridiculously strong.
But I'm also very strong.
Excellent. Very nice. So Peiko, yeah, she reaches up to that spear and starts to push against it, and for a moment it's like an iron grip is just pushing down upon her, but she summons up her reserves of willpower and just with a forceful shove sort of launches the ghoul back a step and manages to kind of push back up onto her feet. And there she is at the bottom of the shaft, outside of immediate combat range with any of the ghouls. Congratulations. And it is Mayra's turn.
Now it's time for Mayra to be a hero. This is where she shoots Peikome and climbs out.
They shouldn't have messed with me. From where I am, do I have a clean shot of the one that was holding the spear? Probably
Yes.
not. Right? Oh, I do. Okay.
So because Peiko shoved him off, rather, and this all happened pretty much directly below the rope that she was climbing, it is a fairly clear shot.
All right. I shall try to use my bow.
Okay.
What is the disadvantage?
The disadvantage is going to be 0, just a straight shot.
Sing true arrow. Nope.
Oh god.
It did not.
Oh. No,
Yeah.
All I have to do is dodge 3 attacks.
It's not an easy thing to shoot while tied to a rope halfway down a shaft at something below you.
Mhm.
And you don't. The arrow misses. It is now...
Wait, your
God,
main
ghouls.
attribute's only 11?
Have high accuracy.
Well, wait. Accuracy is the normal, like, ranged thing. Did you
Yeah.
choose to take quick over?
I mean, it would have been 15 versus 16.
Well, just
Yeah.
for, like, future reference.
Yeah.
'cause
Oh.
11
Should've been-
seems weird for your basic attack.
Yeah.
I think when the sheet updated,
Yeah,
it didn't. It was incorrect.
It
Okay,
switched
I
your
would
bow
have
to-
still missed anyway.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that ought to be a
I have
accuracy
fixed
then
it.
for the future. Okay, yeah, so I'm afraid that misses. So there are 3 Draguls that
Look.
all want to kill Pekome.
This seems familiar. I just have to not get hit.
Yeah,
And or block all damage,
yeah, all right.
which is technically possible. Both are possible.
It's more feasible for Pekome than anyone else. That's
If only I had enough XP to get my armor upgraded.
for sure. So, yeah, you are going to come under attack from 3 Draguls. If you could roll to defend against... So roll defense with an enemy disadvantage of 1 for the
Positive
first one.
or minus?
Positive. So they have a disadvantage of 1 in your benefit.
You put 1.
For the first roll. After that, I'm afraid you become flanked, which is a flat 2, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so that would make it 1 in their favor for the next 2 rolls.
Oh. Hey, you never doubt me when I'm in a crisis.
Okay. So Pekome, weaponless, but with a shield and a good set of armor, stands down the throng of undead that sort of cluster toward her. The spear-wielding one is still sort of reorienting itself, and when he thrusts forward, she just steps to the side and manages to defend it, and with a few back steps and a bat of her shield, manages to avoid the 2 rusty swords that come flying in her direction. And then it's back to Peiko's turn.
Not quite.
Dane.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
Dane still
Dane.
exists.
Right. Sorry.
First thing, Dane kind of like just switches a finger at one of the arrows and then down at the arrow riddled
Please
spear
kill
wielding
him.
one.
Please kill him.
So go ahead and roll for damage. Oh, you did. All right.
It would help me greatly, immensely, if he was dead.
Yeah, it's not dead.
Dane turns himself into a projectile at the spear wielding one.
All right. It is just sort of, well,
Dane's fatter than me. He should have an easier time hitting this.
yeah,
Dane's
we'll
gonna have an easier time hitting it than you do.
Say that it's roughly. Yeah. Okay. Because
Dane lets him use vigilant instead of accurate when attacking with ranged weapons.
well, go ahead.
He's making himself into a projectile.
I'm warning you that this logic will probably not hold up in other make yourself a projectile efforts, but it works right now.
Okay.
Roll again?
Go ahead and roll again.
Wait, what is 6 cents?
That's what allows him to do that, probably.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you
Okay.
didn't critically fail.
Okay. So I don't
Go ahead
land
and
on
roll
Pekome.
me quick.
Okay.
Okay. Dane catapults off the rope from about 12 or 13 feet up and plunges for the spear-wielding jackal. And poor Peiko is
Wait.
confronted by the sight
Okay.
of her barbarian companion just coming into view from above
Oh
and
god.
just slamming into the ground behind her enemy. Just right into it. Just boom! And
do I still hit it?
No successful. What?
Do I still hit it?
Oh no,
Oh.
you do not.
You
You
failed
hit
it.
the ground, and you hit the
Okay.
ground hard, and because you failed your quick roll, you didn't even get your feet under you. You just slammed into the floor. You're gonna take how many meters is that? That's 4 meters. So you're gonna take 4 points of damage, but you can soak with armor.
Just
No,
roll
I
whatever
can't.
your armor negate.
Oh.
Okay. There you go.
All right, this is fine. Oh my god.
It's okay. Mayor is gonna land a shot next time.
Okay. It
Sweating
is.
nervously.
It is. Megan's just gonna watch her friends die.
Am I still?
And then she's gonna turn around and climb back up.
Am I still
Yup.
considered flanked?
The problem is that there's gonna be a rope. She's gonna be racing 3 undead up there.
I have a dagger. I can cut the rope.
Three
Yeah.
undead with 15
yeah.
strong, by the way.
She's also got like a height advantage, and you said there was like no space. She could just cut their rope and leave.
Yeah, she's just gotta race them.
So Pekome,
So, yeah, what is the fighting situation look like? Right
so you've got Pekome,
Mhm.
and then in front of her you have 3 ghouls. And then behind the 3 draw ghouls, you have Dane just flat out on the ground. Oh dear.
Well, I've got one option to survive, and it's to kill something.
Yeah, I
So
recommend it.
I'm going to do a quick check to see if I can quickly pull out the two-handed sword.
Yeah. I'm rooting for you.
I did it.
Okay.
I've-
So you draw your 2-handed sword, which immediately begins keening.
All right, and then she's going to attempt to murder the hell out of the spear one.
Mm-hmm.
Does it count as flanking if there's an unconscious teammate behind them?
He's not unconscious, but he's not flanking. No, he'll need to actually engage them. Although,
How distracted are they by
I
what
guess
just
he
happened?
tried to engage them.
Are they distracted at all?
I already.
Hmm.
Did they even look at him?
Give me
Roll
a sec
discreet,
to consult
Dane.
how. Ugh.
I really thought you had picked up a lantern.
I literally listed all the things I bought.
No, but you bought so much. I would have assumed that if it was
There's
possible.
There's a skill in Dark Heresy where you just blather endlessly to distract someone. That was Stella's grocery list.
You Dr. Cat them.
Yeah, she just kept talking and talking and talking and about all the things she bought, and we stopped being able to retain any useful information.
I'll have to revisit that list of items because I feel like I would have thought about buying a lantern, but
Yeah, because my original plan was just, like, light a lantern, tie it to a rope, and lower it down there so you two can take pot shots.
mhm.
I would say, having looked at the flanking rule, that Dane probably doesn't count as flanking them right now.
Regretfully.
What about his arrows? Do they count?
No, they're just in him.
Alright. What's the disadvantage?
The disadvantage is 0.
Please, just let me kill it. Oh, wait. That was a strong check, but,
Oh.
I mean, that would be the exact same as my swing. So, should I just roll the d10?
Yeah, you can roll for damage if that would have been a success.
Yeah, because it would have been, like, here, I'll show you. It would have been the same, but there you go. 9 damage with the magical sword, so if they have resistance to normal weapons.
Excellent. So you do 9 damage.
Is he still, like, on the ground?
No, it
Okay.
has gotten to its feet.
So, in one fluid motion, she, like, lifts her arm back, grabs the handle, and then as she starts pulling it out, she grabs with the handle with the other hand, and in the fluid motion just swings down at the spear wielder in front of her.
Yeah. So the keening from this sword is almost jarring in the confines of this underground passageway. There's such little room for the sound to spread that it just condenses and it intensifies. And it just gets louder as the sword arcs downward through the air. And I mean, it cleaves this person asunder. You cut right into the crown of his head and carry it down at least to his sternum, splintering chain links along the way. And it's very clear that no matter what had given the body intelligence before, that much damage has left it bereft of life, and it sort of clatters down to its knees. And there, it's only held on by the merit of your sword kind of being embedded in it right now.
Alright, Mayra, somehow kill one of them in one shot.
Mayra will try her best.
Because now it's gonna be like a 9 for me to touch.
Ah.
Mayra will strike it. The other two have not been engaged yet, correct?
Right. Neither of them have been hit
Well, you
yet.
also wouldn't get flanked because you're at range.
Yeah, I
The-
think more meant damage.
Yeah,
concerns me.
neither of them. They're functionally identical. Right?
Okay. So she's gonna choose one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say for the intents and purposes of declaring that it's the female,
Okay.
and she'll let loose a shot.
Great.
Disadvantage?
Remember to use your.
Still 0.
Remember to fix your weapon if you hadn't. Yeah.
Wow.
Less,
Alright.
yeah.
Great. So you loose a shot, and it is an impressive shot by all counts because you do manage to scope in on someone below you. And a vertical profile is not the easiest thing to hit with an arrow.
Mhm.
The way that people are usually standing is more convenient, but you do, and the arrow kind of plunges in and nestles amidst the armor on her shoulder. It doesn't look like it penetrates the armor by much, but it does connect. And for a moment, the undead woman cants her head up to kind of stare expressionlessly up at you.
Alright, well, time to see how die I am. Are they both attacking me?
Well,
Ye-
no. Just
Is-
one of them will attack you.
Alright. So that means I'm not being flanked?
Correct. You are not flanked. The male Dragul just takes a clumsy step towards you and lashes out with a very big, very rusty sword.
Okay. Oh, moment of truth. A roll to confirm crit.
Yeah, go right ahead.
If that had been the first crit of the game.
Yeah, I held my breath right there.
It
What?
would have.
Well, unless he does 3 damage, I am at or above my threshold.
Yeah, so you negate 3 damage out of 7, which means you take 4.
So I am 3 over my max.
Okay, so the just this horizontal slash arcs out, and for a moment, Pekome tries to pull away, but her sword is still caught in the armor of the Dragul that she had struck down just a moment before, and it connects and it bites right through the plate covering her ribs. And the pain is such that with a brief shout, she sort of just crumples to the ground and is incapacitated. The other Dragul, the woman, looks back down from its consideration of Mayra, because she is out of range right now, and turns upon Dane.
Dane plays dead.
I'm assuming that if she begins to attack, he will stop playing dead to try and defend himself.
Yeah.
Okay, good. She's gonna try to attack you,
No.
so go ahead and roll to defend.
Yeah,
Okay.
you might roll out of the way. You rolled out of the way.
Oh my god.
What?
This
That's
is-
never happened before.
You're inspired by what just happened.
Dane sees Peiko crumple to the ground, and for a moment plays dead. But the Dragul steps forward, and hefts this big rusty sword and then just starts to bring it straight down on where he lays. Unfortunately, he rolls to the side and the sword just crashes into the ground and stone chips. And a little bit of the sword itself chips as well from the force of the blow. But it completely misses him. And it's
Which has never happened before.
Which has never happened before.
This is your hero's moment.
Okay.
You still have like 2 auto arrows left, or 3?
Yeah,
One,
2.
right?
He has 6 total.
Oh, 6.
Yeah.
I was counting from 5. Okay. Yeah, 2. Go
Let me
right
just
ahead.
double check to be sure that it's 6 and not 5.
Oh, I'm sure you're right. 5's just a number that I gravitate to.
It's a nice number.
It is, right?
No.
No, it's
I
up to
feel-
5.
Oh,
Up
okay.
to 5.
Well,
So
you got one
did.
now.
Well, you did 4, 4, and then 3.
And then shot one into
The one
dark.
into the wall.
Right. I forgot the utility one.
Utility. That's a word
Without
for
a
it.
hero.
Well, first thing first. The
Which one, the female or the male?
one that's already wounded.
The allegedly.
Yes, allegedly.
Okay. How much damage do you do? 4? Okay.
Hey, by the way, Kory, the sword's screaming. You should pick it up.
So yes, that he just kind of twitches a hand in the general direction of them, and lets the arrow do its thing, and then scrambles up, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna how's the herbal potion work? Not the healing potion, but the herbal one.
Isn't that for like sickness and cold?
Nope, it's for health damage. I didn't realize you had one, and also that you were that wounded.
I only had the Elixir of Life.
Oh, yeah, no, this is just like...
Is it herbal cure? Is that what
Yeah.
you're... Okay.
Yeah, I had thought the Elixir of Life was like the same thing as the potion we had like the first session.
Okay, an herbal cure consists of an alchemical poultice coupled with bandages.
Oh.
This is sort of what would more readily equate to what you guys have used. It heals 1 point of toughness.
Ah, well, shit. Nope.
I'm way over 1 point of toughness.
Is Pegame's shield in,
It's attached to my
strapped
arm.
to her arm.
All right, Dane goes for the rope.
Okay. So you move to the rope and start climbing it?
Yep.
You're going to incur an attack.
Yep.
Okay. Roll to defend.
You,
Okay.
you could swing or attack.
Yeah. Dane
Okay.
glares angrily at the gentleman attacking him. That doesn't do anything. Never mind.
What does that actually do?
It would force him to re-roll.
Okay.
Okay. So the it's actually the woman lashes out. Oh dear. That puts you over your temp, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, quite a few things just happened. Dane starts booking it for the rope. The female Dragul lashes out again as it's sort of an upswing because she's straightening up as he passes, and she connects solidly. You are going to take 7 damage.
Yeah, Dane drops.
Oh dear. So, Dane is caught by this blade, and the mystical efforts also fail. He kind of just crumples to the ground, not that far away from Pekome. You should choose a blight
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah, for when we get out of this.
Yeah. It's Mayra's turn.
All right,
They're
Mayor,
both
just
Unconscious,
kill them all.
bleeding to death at the bottom of the shaft. 2 of them are still up.
Mayra shall
You're not gonna abandon your brother, are you?
She's gonna cut the rope. 'Cause she still has a rope, the one she's using.
Yeah.
So yeah. She's going to
She's not even gonna
shoulder-
wait till they try to like climb it.
Huh. I don't know how fast this moves. I guess it is a pretty tall climb, so I could start okay. Yeah. Maida is definitely going to cut the rope, but not yet. She's going to take a shot at the female with her bow.
Okay. That is not the one that you've attacked previously. Is that...
It is. I did 2
Oh, it
damage
is?
to
Oh,
the
I'm
female.
sorry. You're right. I got that mixed up. Fantastic. Okay. Okay. Go right ahead.
Okay. Disadvantage.
Still 0.
Okay. Ugh. It's so unfortunate. Okay. Yeah. I missed.
Yeah.
Alright. The arrow kind of skitters off the ground. And it's
That's
back
what,
to the Dragoons.
40% chance to miss.
20% chance.
Honey.
Uh,
25.
Yeah,
So-
25.
one of the Dragul steps over to the rope. It has no apparent concern for Pekome or Dane now that they have sort of bit it, and it begins to ponderously climb the rope. And it's ponderous only in that it's a rather intentional process. It's and it's one-handed. It's keeping its sword out. It appears more than strong enough to handle the process, and it does. So actually, before we go any further with that, I do need to go look at what's going on with our incapacitated party members.
The quick guide doesn't say what we roll. It says we do a death test to see if we survive or die, but it doesn't say what that is.
Yeah, it's okay. I've got it here.
Roll a 1d20. 1, the character's damage looked much worse than it actually was. The character wakes up with 1d4 toughness left. Character can act next turn. 2 through 10, we survive. 11 through 19. So as long as we don't roll a
you should have
20.
made one test already, Pekka, because I skipped over you to go to Mayra. So why don't you do that now?
Alright, so I don't go past 11, right? I stay at 11, and then I
Right.
stay at my max, and then what happens here decides what happens.
Well, you're
That's a
doing it the
1.
reverse.
I'm up. I'm standing.
Wow.
Yo,
Well,
I'm distracting them.
And then Dane also has to do 1, right?
Not yet.
Not yet.
he will after the Dragul finish.
God, why do you have to be so...
Okay, so you wake up. Do you... I wonder. It says you wake up.
Yeah, I restore 1. I have 1d4 toughness for now.
Okay, so go ahead and tally that up real fast.
Nice.
Wow. All right, solid. So you have 4
I
points.
am back to where we started.
of life. How much of that move do you reckon that takes?
What was that?
How much of your move do you reckon that takes?
Like my movement.
Your action
Your
phase
turn.
for this turn in initiative.
I think since it was like essentially what's considered what would be a crit, I would still get the action, but because it says the character can act the next turn. Okay. So
Okay.
All right. So you've set up, and that's it.
yeah. So
One of
it
the
was
Dragul's
actually a
climbing
going.
for Mara right now.
Mm-hmm.
The other will turn its attention to you. Yeah, so I guess you'll just have to roll to defend now.
So it notices like immediately that I came to, or that I wasn't fully out.
Well, I mean, if you wake up, I assume you're in dire straits, right? So
Mhm.
I feel like it'd be...
It's not even waking up, right?
It
It's
is-
literally-
It's a well, actually, the way they say it is, it was like a glancing blow, and then
yeah.
it looked like I went down, but instead of like going out.
okay. The section on dying characters that I'm reading here describes it as this test is repeated until someone stabilizes them or until the player rolls a 1 and wakes up. So
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
what I was
I'm only
basing it on.
going off of the quick guide you have here.
Oh yeah, I mean that's reasonable. That's why it's there.
The character's damage looked much worse than it actually was. The character wakes up with
wakes up.
toughness left. Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah. So I'm assuming the wake would come with like a pained gasp or a grunt or something that would draw attention.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want you to just get attacked and knocked out again, though. But
I mean, he's got decent odds of not.
Yeah, I mean, you aren't flanked. You have a lot of armor. So yeah, go ahead and roll defense at a 0, or no, at +1 for you.
All right, I'm not using the shield. Well, look, I'll just roll another one after this and get back up again.
Why aren't you using the shield? Isn't it attached to you?
He's holding a two-handed sword.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
I mean,
So I'm alive with 1 HP, boys.
Yeah, you take 7 damage, mitigate
at the
4.
same time, given he's just woken up, he could just be not using a sword.
Yeah, I mean that would be his discretion.
Well,
Well,
no. But what I was about to say was the sword was stuck in a corpse, so it would make sense if I fell back without it.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
And
then
at
that
this
didn't hit.
discretion, it changed. Yeah.
Yeah. It means I am completely unarmed.
It
though.
means you are completely unarmed, yes, for your own turn. But for right now, you're also completely unscathed, as much as can be said for someone who woke up from being critically wounded.
So just
So
barely
that's
lift the shield up and block the hit.
Dane's turn. Go ahead and give us a death test.
Just don't roll a 20. Anything else is fine.
All right, Dane is out.
Good. Don't roll 3 more of those.
All right. I am at 1 towards death.
Wait, what?
If he gets in that percentage 3 times, he dies.
12 to 19, I think.
11 through 19. The character is
11
a
to
step
19.
closer to death. The third time the roll has
Oh,
this
yeah.
outcome, the character dies.
I didn't even look at this bar on the left here. Yes, wakes up. 2 to 10, 11 to 19. Okay, well,
2 to
you're
10 is
still
nothing
alive,
happens. 1 is get up, 20
which
is...
is good. It cycles around to pay Kome. You were unarmed and awake.
Okay.
What would you like to do? Given where you collapsed, if you spend your movement on it, you can get your sword back.
That would take an attack, though, right?
No, in this case, I mean, it's like right next to you. You can just get it with a movement.
Could I do a quick check to see if I could get it without a movement for my trait?
Yeah.
If you consider that drawing the weapon.
Well, you're drawing it from something, right?
I think that makes sense.
And if I fail, then it takes the movement anyway. Hey!
Nice.
Alright. Now we're at peak performance, baby. And I am going to position myself in a way to where like they're both in front of me. You know what I mean? Just like strafe around it so that way.
Yeah,
one
you're gonna
isn't
flank
hitting me in the
yourself.
back. What?
Sorry.
No.
Go on.
No, in a way to where I'm not in the middle of them.
No, I got you. Go
He
on.
was trying to be funny.
I was succeeding at being funny.
All right. So, since Dane is completely unconscious, he's not flanking. What is my modifier?
Your modifier is 0. Are you attacking the female Druggle or the male? The female one has a couple arrows.
Which one was the one that attacked me?
The male.
Then it would be the male because I'm
Okay.
in combat with that one.
Yep.
Missed. All right, Mayra, do your stuff. Peckham still in the fight.
Meira shoots the female.
All right. Give it a roll.
Oh, that's a good hit.
Thank God.
Whoa.
Okay. So. I have a thing.
Okay.
Marksman.
Scale?
Adept.
Yeah.
Provides his or her projectiles with a crippling effect. The attack deals damage as usual, and if the target is wounded, the character may make an accurate backwards arrow strong test every time the target attempts to move.
Accurate versus strong. So
So you're accurate against their strong.
Okay. A successful die roll means the target cannot move, and its movement action is forfeit. As soon as the target manages to move and the character fails the test, crippling effect is gone.
Okay, so it's
Concerning in
essentially a pinning shot.
They're hella strong, as Kevin said.
I know,
Yeah.
but I get that for
It's
It's
free.
accurate though.
Yeah,
so...
it's free and it's a chance that it won't climb up towards her
Yeah.
and will instead stab me.
Well, it'll be stuck there.
Okay. So your shot lances into the Dragul with such potent effect that it is pinned and rooted in place, at least for the moment. Once more, it cants its head up to stare at Mayra, where she hangs for a few seconds. And then it's the Dragul's turn. So we'll start with that one. If you would like to make an accurate -5.
Oh.
Okay. So the arrow plunged deep through this creature's side and looked like it might lock it up, but soundlessly almost it kind of pulls itself from where it stands and leaves the arrow behind, embedded in the ground below. And a little string of gore traces its footfalls as it approaches Peiko. And or wait, I'm sorry. No, this is the one that's climbing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also
It does
did
not approach Peiko. Continues to climb.
All right.
It will. Well, since it started climbing, it'll this turn, I would say, reach a height necessary to attack Mayra.
Okay.
So if you could go. Oh God, hang on. Yeah, I mean, I think you're probably just gonna get hit, right? Because.
Well, it's not an easy attack for it to make because it's also climbing.
Yeah, that's fair. It isn't grounded, and it's pulling itself up. We'll just say that climbing nullifies climbing in this case, and just make a normal defense roll.
Okay. A disadvantage.
So you actually have an advantage of 1, so the enemy disadvantage will be 1.
Oh.
I'm amazing at rolling 19s when I don't need them.
Man,
Dude,
if
I
only
go
this was
down.
Really?
You go down.
You
Seven
only have
damage.
7 damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ripperoni.
Think of a hero moment.
Oh my God.
No. This is great because our starting next mission can be. Well, I sent these 3
We had
adventurers.
these 3 adventurers. We sent them out for something and they never came back.
This is the quest of Bone Crusher to come save her mother.
No.
You didn't know it, but I actually I hypnotized all of you in Florida, and we played Symbaroum. And the first party that you came across was all the characters.
I knew Aldous
Alright.
sounded familiar.
Well, I have to dodge an attack here, so.
Yeah, but first the female Dragul,
Mhm.
resembling something of a pincushion, drags itself up the rope until it's near enough to Mera to lash out with a rusty sword. And she tries to dodge, but she can't, and the blade bites deep. And it's enough to sever the rope where it's tying her against the wall. And she kind of spirals away from the creature and slams into the ground of the chasm and passes out. She is unconscious, not too far from her brother. Pekome, you have to absorb an attack from the other Dragul.
Is this also a 1?
Yes. Yeah, you manage to
Hey!
dodge. Excellent, nice. So the Dragul swings, and you evade.
Alright. Now what to do?
We've skipped me again.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah.
Okay, you're another step closer to death.
Oh,
This
God.
is getting really dire.
I was 1 single number away from just dying.
Oh god. All right, Peko.
Could I make an attack on the female?
No.
No, it's too high up.
Yeah. And so here's the thing. Just to move over to the rope where she's climbing, you would take an attack from the male, and then she would be too high to attack.
And where
Good
is
news, you're the only one up, so she'll be coming for you.
Yeah.
Where is Mayra?
On the floor.
Mayra is basically on the other side of the guy from you, probably 4 feet past him on the ground.
Just taking a nap.
Just resting.
I'm trying to see if my odds would be better, like trying to get Mayra out of here and then waking her up. If I could.
So,
No.
just gonna say Dane's definitely not gonna live long enough for that to happen.
But he also might not live
I've got
long
a
enough
1
for me
in
to-
20 chance of living long enough for that to happen.
No, you do not. Because, well, no, you have a 50% chance every round to not die.
Yeah, and
Right
a 1 in 20.
and a 1 in 20 just to get better.
So I got a 1 in 20 chance.
But, like, whatever I do, like, the chance is he dies next turn.
Yes. Yeah.
So I could
More chances than not, in fact.
try to, like,
Well,
weather a hit to go grab Mayra and then run down the corridor.
I'd just beat on them.
Yeah, but...
I won't tell you what to do.
Alright,
I'm
well,
giving you all my energy.
look, I'm just gonna stab it in the face.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's your only option, really.
Go
What's the
right
mo-
ahead. It has a flat roll, no modifier.
If only it was damaged. Alright, Mayra, roll a 1, please.
I need to live so then I can complain to Pekome about how this was a terrible idea.
Okay. Mayra inches closer to death's door.
Mira is 1 out of 3 towards death rolls.
Alright, now it's time for the Draggles.
Yep.
Does the guy
So-
attack first?
The male Dragul will attack. So go ahead and defend against that. Okay. The female Dragul just lets go of the rope and drops.
I was
Oh,
gonna
God.
say, do you projectile too?
It's learned.
No, she doesn't leap. But that would be hilarious to just like, well, if you guys are all gonna do it, then they can do it too.
They've learned.
No, she just drops to the ground
Does she take
and
any
lands
damage?
hard. Well,
Pekome took damage.
yeah.
I took damage at 10 feet.
I mean, yeah, we can flatten it out. Let's see. So she has 2 armor, and can fall 10 feet, which is 3 points of damage. So yeah, all right, she takes damage.
She
A
did.
single.
It would be very nice if she just fell over dead.
She is not dead.
Well, she's dead, but she's not.
Well, all right, yes, she's
not
dead, but she.
moving.
Okay. So does she
Yeah.
now attack me?
So she stomps toward you and does attack you, and she has flanking. So instead of 1 advantage, you're at 1 disadvantage now. Okay,
Alright, Dane, don't die.
Dane.
It was a nice campaign, guys.
You're
Hey, I don't die.
You don't die. Hey, Kome.
Alright, well, and I'm gonna stab the female.
Good. I'm very glad that that's your choice.
Does flanking lower my attack? Or is it just the defense?
No, you can just attack as normal. Authoritatively state that. No? What? Nice.
I have to confirm the crit. though.
Yes, you do have to confirm it.
And if you
So I did 1 damage.
that got stopped.
Oof, man, if that had just been a good roll.
I don't know. I think he rolled the 4 first.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say that you rolled the 4 first.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, nudge, nudge. And that kills her. So good job. You lash out with your sword, and it cleaves the head of this undead woman clear off. And her expression is still the same blank mask, and she lets out no scream, but her body just crumples to the ground before you, leaving you facing only 1 opponent.
Alright, it's
luck.
no longer flanking, so that's a +1.
Mayra, you need
Oh,
to roll death save.
Stella, please just roll a 1.
I am thinking of a number.
Is it 19?
Oh, fuck.
Okay. Alright.
Oh, God.
Maida curls up on the floor unconscious and she makes herself comfortable and she's like, maybe I'll just never get back up.
Oh, God.
All right, Dragool.
The Dragul, unruffled by the death of its companion,
It leaves.
just winds up with a rusty sword and lashes out at Pekome. So go ahead and roll. Wow, that was really close.
This fight is desperate, and is Dane dead?
Okay, Dane, it's all in your court here. Oh my
Dane
god, Dane's dead.
Dies.
No.
Oh
Well,
my God.
My brother.
I mean,
Dane breathes his last, and a steadily growing pool of blood sort of spreads out from beneath his magical robe, and he dies.
Well, maybe I'll kill it. So I'm
Go
back.
ahead and
So... Nope. 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 No.
Mayra?
Does Mayra join her brother?
Hey, not bad.
Okay.
Alright, and then it's Droggle
Mayra
time.
hangs on to a thread of life, and the Dragul trades more blows with Pekome.
Not like this. Oh, that's a perfect block, though.
That was
Yeah.
a perfect block for the. Oh no, you would have taken 1 damage from the spear.
No, they
Sphere.
were all 7.
they were all 7.
Oh, the different. Okay.
Oh, God. Thank you,
Okay,
armor.
it lands a solid hit, but your armor holds. It probably hurts quite a bit being jarred like that, what with your wounds, but you managed to stay
understand.
standing.
This is my chance. He's misstepped.
Mahira?
The sword is out of place. This is my chance to stab through for full damage.
Wow.
Is that enough?
No, absolutely.
Please. What do you mean absolutely not? It did already take 7. So like it isn't absolutely not, but
Well, it's absolutely not, or it absolutely is at the end of the
Well,
day.
One of those two, and it's still alive. It's a really good hit, though. For a
Look,
second,
it's
I thought
much
you had
closer than absolutely not sounds.
All right. So Pekeme lashes out with the howl of her blade and does quite a substantial amount of damage. She cuts through the armor, the rusty chain links on his shoulder, and bites maybe a hand's width down through clavicle and into his torso.
Alright, Mayor.
He's already dead, so it doesn't really affect him all that much.
Mayor, this would be a perfect chance for you to get up and help.
Maida, and as the world gets darker, is thinking of Pekome's stupid tin head.
No, you probably want to think of something you like.
It is the hate strong enough that she wants to be spiteful and survive so she can curse Pekome. Nope.
No.
I think that with Mayra's necromantic brother having just passed over the threshold,
Mm-hmm.
that this is something where maybe she should linger a little bit longer as he bars the way.
I mean, I'm down with that.
Does that mean I roll again?
Yeah, but next turn.
Okay.
It's like
Oh god.
No,
the
you
last
stay.
manifestation of Dane's will is kind of forcing Mira's spirit to remain within her body for a turn longer.
Alright, I'm declaring it. This round decides how this fight goes.
The Draw Ghoul, undeterred by its damage, assaults Peiko once more. And misses.
How many evens?
How many 13s? Oh my god.
Ah!
Alright, it's your turn.
Alright, kill it.
Pikome's gonna scream until her voice goes raw and try to just finish this thing off. Oh my god! Oh my god. Is it dead?
Well, I mean, yes, but also...
But we don't know that. Is it dead, Kevin?
Kevin's quiet.
I mean that it's, it's been dead the whole time.
Is it
Kevin,
gone?
please.
Is
Kevin.
it full dead?
You kill it. It's done.
Can I rush to use the Elixir of Life on her?
Yeah, well,
Herbal mixture would be advisable
I would
too.
have to get that off of you. We don't have
Okay.
the time for that.
Okay.
okay, so yeah, your last attack, you are howling as loudly as your sword is. Bury it straight into the heart of this undead creature, and you rip it out, and the damage is just too much. It falls inert to the ground. And yeah, you have a moment to drop your sword and kind of lurch your way over to where Myra lies dying, and try to bring her back to life.
Temporary toughness is enough for her to not be dying. So, how does the Elixir of Life work again? Also, I told you, I have moving luck.
Go ahead.
I have cinematic luck. You know, the bigger the crisis, the more my luck kicks in.
Does that mean that you're the main character?
Yes.
I mean, all this time, yes, it was very obvious that was the main character. We were the sidekicks.
This is where Pekome, as Pekome is pouring the elixir of life into my dying body, pulls off her helmet, and she has long pink hair.
Excuse me?
Because she's the
To anime, yeah.
main character.
Yeah, the anime main character. She's the MC, obviously.
Can we have a cinematic moment here where, for a split moment, Dane and Meira are in some kind of hazy, not quite existing kind of temporal kind of moment of blackness?
Absolutely.
Of course. I mean, that's Dane was he wasn't the best of mages, but he had some affinity with the dead, and he had some affinity with being able to say that things don't happen.
So what would this look like, Dane?
Well, I feel like in Symbaroum, if you're going to have an afterlife, it's goddamn bleak as shit. It's monochrome, gray tones, and the gray tones are only Meira
The
and
endless
Dane.
misty void.
I mean, not even mist, At this point, like, mist is a nice, lively thing compared to this horrible, endless black. They're just two gray stars in the midst of that at this point. And Dane is... They're both fading, but Dane's fading about twice as fast.
And then what happens?
Do either of you say anything?
Eat more. Too skinny.
And then you feel something surging down your throat, Meira.
What made us? Thank you, brother, for loving me despite all things. Our life was not an easy one.
Dane just finishes fading away.
No, brother.
Choking. What does Elixir of Life do?
Elixir of Life will give you... Let me pull the page up again. It's going to give
for
you
1d6
1d6 toughness
Yeah.
for 1d6 turns, if I recall, but I just want to be sure.
Is it 2d6s separately, or is it the same value?
Yeah, they're separate.
Oh god.
It's like a surge of healing, or not.
You get 6 health, but for 1 turn, and then you're dead.
Yeah, so roll 1d6,
Me?
and then a 1d6 again.
Right, so 5 temporary health for 6 turns, so you've got time to bandage yourself.
Oh, I thought you healed that much every... I see. I was
No,
thinking...
this is temporary health.
No. It's a heal. It's straight up heal.
Didn't it say temporary toughness?
No, the only temporary thing is the corruption, which you just got. You get 1 temporary point of corruption for each turn the elixir is in effect. So you will get up to 6 points of corruption.
My threshold is 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Cross that bridge in 6 turns. for the moment.
Okay. Okay, so if you roll wrong...
I'm very good at rolling the most awful.
Stella only rolls max values.
I was
Or
gonna
one-off.
say, like, oh, if I have to roll for this elixir, V, can you roll for me? But it's too late for that now. When Meira comes to, she's bawling, ugly crying, kind of curls up, fetal position, shaking.
Picome limps over to check on Dane to see if there's still time.
You've got all the time in the world because Dane is dead.
Seeing that, she's gonna mutter a silent prayer to Prios and then get the herbal cure for Mayra to give her some real healing.
I think Maida is just racked with guilt and grief, and she's basically... She knows that Dane's not there anymore. And she just keeps crying, slowly dying. But
And
not
in the-
dying as bad as she was before the potion.
In the aftermath of the fight, we're left with sort of the pale blue flames of the torch that Dane made and tossed down into the bottom of the passage. Sort of just illuminating Peiko and Mayra, barely alive in the aftermath of the fight, and the 3 Dragul and Dane less fortunate on the ground. And I think that is a great place to pause for
Is it great?
Well, it could be better.
It's absolutely the worst place we've paused at the end of a session, which has been true for every session thus far.
It is. It really is.
Well, I just want to say a quick thank you to Obdurant, Kevin. Thank you so much for dungeon mastering another awesome episode. Awesome but sad.
Oh dear.
Thank you, friends who are listening in. If you want to catch more Symbaroum, we play some Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Maybe we'll go live. TBD. And thank you so much for listening in, and hope you enjoyed and continue to enjoy. Bye, guys!
Bye.
Bye. Always keep Dane in your hearts.